Hey everybody, welcome back. My name is Jared Sarton and I will be your dungeon master for this wonderfully spaced out adventure here. Everyone except Garth and Ari are doing their due diligence, but they live together, so whatever.
Yeah.
But
you said spaced out, and I'm like, wait, we're suddenly in outer space for this next session, and I'm like,
It's so funny.
well, this just got real.
I just thought we had
I just spaced out.
It's so funny that he's totally like not acknowledging that we're sitting right next to each other.
I was wondering
know
about that too.
Yeah. Shh, illusion. This is a. Well, we are a Dungeons and Dragons group that plays on the first and third Saturdays of the month. So to the new folks here, thank you for joining in. To those of you who have been here, welcome back. Just to quickly go over a few things, we do have a few sponsors. We want to shout them out because even in this time, they're doing great. They've got a lot of stuff that they're selling. Austin is showing the first one here. That is Blacksmith Craft Dice. We have a bunch.
It might be backwards.
It might be backwards. It's not.
It's not. Oh, it's not? Yeah.
We have a bunch of dice here that we roll on stream. So they're metal dice. They have a lot of great colors, designs, cases, etc. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, there finally came into focus. We can actually see it.
Yeah, so these guys are amazing. You can find them on Amazon. There's a link below. Matching
That's
dice.
the same one.
Nice, got the same dice, yo.
How'd you get the same dice?
Aw, it's like
Brings
we're
out my
sponsored by
eyes.
them or something. But we also have a few others. We have Critical Treasures. You see this beautiful dice bag here, and on the Undersec screen, there
Hers is massive though.
There is a lot of great treasures that Critical Treasures creates. Lots of dice bags, pins, etc., gaming pieces. Take a look at the Etsy, again, link below. And finally, I am hyped up on Caffeinated Kobold right now.
Because I made mochachinos with them.
So, if this D&D episode goes too quickly, sorry. Not sorry.
Until I finish this.
There it is. So, thank you for joining in, everyone. Please let us know in chat because we do read chat. If we have any issues on the stream, we're going to do our best to continue along. But I think we're good right now. And Awesome Shoe is chatting with chat already. Wow. This is going to be a rough one.
Focus on the game, Austin.
Focus on the game.
friends.
One other thing here, you'll see it actually below me right now. Oh, it just disappeared. We do have some tips and donation stuff that we do. So if you tip at a $5 level, you get one of these beautiful scrolls drawn. That affects the game with some mild effect. So it's mild magic. Something interesting, fun will happen. Nothing too devastating. But if you tip at the $10, you get to assign a reroll to any one of the people on screen here. One of the players, the DM. If it gets assigned to the doggo, then it actually goes to the in-game doggo that Hilari has. And then also at the $20 level, we do have a friend or foe approaches. And that will change the game up a bit. Miss Lauren.
Point of clarification, the $5 is randomly assigned, not just random on there. So, just to make sure, you can assign the 10, but...
Yeah, you can assign a 10.
Play some chance.
Hey.
Oh, and we already see this happening. Shadow Reels has resubbed, and you'll see below me too, there is Sassy Ash, who is our hype boss right now. And if you... and the real POTUS came in and is now the new hype boss. So here's what happens. The real POTUS is now the new hype boss.
What did you do?
I don't know
it
what you
doesn't
did,
tell us
POTUS.
what you did, so we don't know how you...
He converted from a trick climb.
Oh.
To real.
Oh, resub.
Because he's real, like the POTUS.
Oh. So POTUS, you are a good example of what happens. If you take that person down and become the new hype boss, you get to assign a free nat 20, meaning anytime a d20 would be rolled, that player can say, no, I'm actually going to make it a crit, or just a straight up 20 on that roll. So feel free to put it in the comments who that goes to, POTUS, and we're going to kick off the game.
Yeah, game!
All right, players.
Oh, well, he just said to
Shadow Reels gets to assign that. So Shadow Reels, if you hear this, POTUS is saying you get to assign who that goes to. The morning starts off with the baker screaming in excitement just down the road as Shadow Reels opens her shop. Shadow Reels, you get to assign the nat 20 to anyone that POTUS had won from becoming the hype boss.
Including Doggo!
So, the morning starts off with the screaming down the street and fresh breakfast being made. The breakfast is quite strong in aroma. It smells like they're making big batches of meats and breads this morning. I believe you all ended the day, I believe, with drinks and then heading to bed?
Yes,
perfect.
So,
each of you has your morning routine. Is there anything special you'd like to do before heading down to breakfast?
while because we are in Linus at this point, yeah?
Yes.
I'm going to...
Is Lord Dracula with us, or did he go back up to his room?
He came into the tent, remember? Didn't you?
That was during our
I came in. I was not sure what was going on.
The pillow fort.
The pillows and all.
The pillow goblins eating pillows?
I probably went back to my room after, yeah.
In the morning, I'm going to take a quick second and reintroduce Valari to our mouse companion.
Oh,
Obvi, who...
I didn't forget about you.
Obvi, who had traveled with Rumiel for the last week or so, squeaks excitedly and twirls and hops over to Valari and gives her a little mouse kiss on the cheek and then runs back over to Rumiel and is excited to have his friend.
I've never seen her so happy. You're taking good care of her, I guess.
Yes, of course.
You did give her to a druid, so...
I know. They had a special bond.
Astro did see that and was happy. He walked over and wags his tail and watches the little mouse and does a little bounced excitement to notice that there's an animal friend in the midst.
I scratch his head.
Also, thank you, Shadow Reels. Thank you.
All right. Anything else before breakfast? Drackland.
So I did my usual, like, waking up at 4:30 or 5 to do my sword practice.
Oh, yes.
And then it was kind of like the first moment, like, Drackland made that joke yesterday. Not yesterday, last week, but yesterday, about, like, how he practices flying while sword fighting. He hasn't really. So this morning it was like cast fly on himself and like sword fighting forms through the air in midair, flying around, like discovering it was much harder than he had first imagined. And then he will take a nice long short rest and regain his spell slots.
A nice
but,
long short rest.
That's what my well,
I was like,
warlocks get them back on short rests. That's why.
yeah.
So it's actually a short rest. But but that's my morning. I kind of, and then I will, like, rather than just going down to the inn like normal, like I'm kind of like warming up, and I come to the room and like come back to the pillow thing and like make my way in late morning, like, hello friends.
Oh, welcome back. Good to see you, Mr. Lord Drackland. It was, yes.
Yes.
Very good.
Normally I keep to myself, but I'm finding myself becoming fond of you folks, so here I am, I guess.
Good morning!
Good morning.
I'm doing push-ups, and I'll stop. Come in.
Excellent morning workout. I just finished my workout just a couple hours ago.
Garth walks out, and over the circlet is a sweatband. And there's 2 sweatbands here, and he's wearing some really high, very white socks.
Is elastic a thing here?
No, it's just some really bunched up cotton.
I'm like, cast prestidigitation, so it looks like a sweatband.
There you go.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, anyone for a little light calisthenics? Starts touching his toes, which isn't very far to go.
A pillow goblin steps up next to you and does similar, but doesn't have any toes to touch.
Mm-hmm.
So he looks like Winnie the Pooh, like doing his morning stretches.
Yeah.
How tall are these pillow goblins?
Down.
They stand about 2.5 feet.
Okay, and then how many of them are there that I'm seeing?
You see 2 or 3. One's working out with Garth. There's a couple others that are putting together what seems to be a platter of sweet rolls. And yes, real sweet rolls.
I was gonna say, are they?
These ones are real. For
Like
some
the
reason,
cookies.
For some reason, they bring you a sweet treat whenever you're around, to each of you. And so some sweet rolls come around as you're all working out and doing your thing.
They must have got the recipe
Excellent.
from the baker.
I'm just eating. There's no workout. I'm just eating.
So guys,
We
Same.
need to carbo load.
right, it's gonna be a big day, and I was just curious, Garth, if in any of your books
Mm-hmm.
it talks about the Dragon King. Like, do we know what we're getting into? Is Ibrin gonna be okay? Like,
Can I roll history on the Dragon King?
Sure.
No.
17.
And in true form, Ari's concerned about Ibrin.
I'm concerned about our quest.
As
Of course.
As you are looking back through your books and some of the things that you've seen in this world, you have seen mention of the Dragon King, but you aren't sure what that means per se, because the Dragon King isn't something of your world in Faerun.
Yeah. I've seen the name. So it must be important because ink is not cheap.
Okay. No Tiger Kings. Well then, I vote we get some breakfast and then go by the shop.
Oh yes, we must go to Perkins. I told him first light.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Okay,
Oh.
breakfast to go. Let's go.
We're underground, so I think we'll be allowed a little bit of leniency.
That's fair.
Of course. Of course.
All right. As you
Mhm.
make your way out through the inn, the barkeep waves you down and points to a couple tables. Oh, where would you like to sit this morning?
No time. We have an appointment.
Breakfast to go, please. I need the brew.
The ale brew or the
No. It's good gracious man. It's morning.
the excitement brew? All right. Cool.
So?
No
Do you
judgment
have-
here.
Do you have those
Is it
little
an option
boxes
to take the
with
ale
compartments?
brew?
The boxes with compartments.
You can put some food in them and then save them for later.
You don't like your food to touch. We do have some nice oilskin sacks here we can throw food in for you.
Thinking more like a box, like a fancy. Okay, never mind.
Hang on a second. He leans down, pulls out a couple older wooden bowls. We can put some food in this for you to go. I don't need them back there from our last set of cutlery.
Oh yes, those don't match the current set at all.
No, but we might have to pull them back out if you torch the place again.
She did it. Wait.
Won't happen.
She did it.
All right. Well, here's a few bowls. He knocks on the kitchen door. Hey, can we get some food out here? And a few plates of food are handed out, and he starts scraping them into the bowls for you. There's eggs and meat. And then he looks around and tries to figure out what to do with the additional sweet rolls that he got from his kitchen. Do you want these to sit on top of the meats or take them
I'll
to go?
just carry it.
Just
Thank you. Yeah.
The bento box, says POTUS.
Yeah.
You get a bowl. You get a wooden bowl, not a bento box, but bless you.
Bless you.
salute. Gesundheit.
He sends you on your way, waves you off, and as the door starts swinging shut, you hear, "It'll be on your tab."
Oh, have they been tracking all of this?
But you didn't think you were getting it for free?
Well, we've
We've
never had
seen
to
it
pay
come
for it
from
before.
dragons.
Before we leave, I just
Yeah.
want to have a quick interaction with the innkeeper and just be like, have you ever seen something that looks like this? And then I'll pull up my hand and like I'll minor illusion one of like an image, like a small, obviously image of like one of the pillow goblins. And be like, have you ever seen something that looks like this?
The innkeep kind of pulls back as he sees the image appear in your hand and leans in. Trickery. Is this a character of yours? Are you a storyteller?
Okay, you've never seen something like that. I'm just making sure that I haven't gone crazy. So, okay, great. Good enough for me.
All right. Well, good luck on your stories and your puppet people.
Thank you. Puppet people. I'll kind of walk away being like, puppet people, huh?
All right, as you enter the lower city, morning has begun. At least you believe it to be morning. You see a few stalls being set up. Just across the way, you see some food being set up for selling. You actually see a few children this morning running off as they're getting ready to go to school. It seems like life is coming back into order a little bit, but you do notice in the distance where the hole in the lower city is, sunbeams are shining down brightly and lighting up that part of the lower city well. There's some makeshift gates set up around the hole to keep people away from falling into this abyss. You do see also a few sets of guards in lighter leather gear rappelling down the hole as if they're trying to understand what's going on down below. But at this point, you don't think they've found anything, as they're all just kind of like pacing and looking and more or less just investigating and less so like hunting down something that has happened.
Once we're outside, I'm gonna give a little whistle to call B1RD down.
Yep.
Now, knowing he runs on magic, I'm actually going to do one. He is made of metal, yes?
Correct.
Okay, I'm gonna produce a flame, which is obviously magic, and have him kind of hop into it so that he's not like burning up. But I'm like kind of recharging his battery a little bit.
As he flutters down in, he actually starts fluttering his wings, and you see him fluff up kind of like the feathers on his back, and you see all the mechanical gearing inside, and he does what like a typical bird bath would be, just tossing himself around in your hand, but you see the sparks glowing. You do catch sight of that ring that you guys had placed in a couple weeks prior, and it glows bright, and he...
Is there any elvish lettering on the ring?
No.
Okay, good.
It is not
I just
one
wanted to make sure.
You feel the presence of a giant eye staring you down. No, you see that
Dragon
you see that he absorbs that and becomes a little bit more vibrant and alive, and he flies up and sits on your shoulder. Doobly-doo, thank you for the sub.
TM Jared is just really excited to have like the chat screen in front of him because he never gets this, so he's really like savoring it. He's like, I see everything.
I see.
We're gonna have to monitor for you, just so you can have that somewhere.
I know. We got it. We have no space in this place. All right, so you are standing outside, and the morning has just begun.
The morning just begun.
So if I remember correctly, we think that this Dragon King is supposed to be resurrected or created in the hole where we were, because that's where the lad was going.
Yeah, as far as you understand,
but I don't know if it's.
As far as you understand, that's what you had heard, that there was some ritual to bring back the Dragon King.
Right.
And that wasn't the ritual we watched, right? That we interrupted.
I don't know.
I don't think so. He seemed to think that the ritual, the summoning, or whatever it was supposed to happen today. I don't know. What we interrupted could have been some sort of precursor to that. As if they what was that?
I said maybe it was a tea party. I've never been to one of those, but
you should try.
Frightfully boring.
No way. Very fun. Lots of gossip.
We went to very different tea parties, you and I. In that, we approached them in very different ways.
Welcome, Penguin Witch Doctor. Glad you made it in time.
And Broccoli Howard.
And Broccoli Howard, as people held them up, yes. We do use physical dice. A lot of these happen to be from our sponsor, Blacksmith Craft Dice, and they're awesome.
I want to know more about this tea party you think is going on. Let me take some vigorous notes here about tea parties.
Anyway.
No, but I don't. it almost seemed as if they were doing this either so they could set up this summoning, because obviously something needed to be prepared. If they were trying to turn that weird froggy thing, they were trying to transform him into something.
Has anyone ever seen one of his kind before? Because he was.
No.
I don't think I have. I know I've kind of been out in nature. Is that something that I could do a check on?
History.
You can do a history or a nature, but I'm going to say I don't think any of you has really seen this thing. From your nature knowledge, Rumil, you would say it looked like a weird mix of a frog and an octopus of some sort.
Right, but also huge.
Huge and bipedal and frog and octopus. Like, it doesn't make sense in your mind why those things are together, but that's kind of what you understand it to be.
Right. So if they were trying to transform that creature into something else, perhaps it required something of that creature's magnitude to house the Dragon King. I'm sort of
house as in like to be pregnant with.
To possess fully. It could be that Ibran can't quite contain the Dragon King at his fullest extent, and so the Dragon King must possess another being of greater magnitude. Again, shooting in the dark here, but trying to piece together whatever random bits of information I can cobble together.
I need an arrow. Perkins, maybe
just one.
Well.
No, that's a good point. Perhaps Perkins, being in the area, would have a better knowledge of, at least from what you say, he might have a better knowledge of what we're dealing with here.
His family has done many adventures and dealings.
Oh, well, that could be very helpful then.
Comic book about it.
Okay, Perkins it is.
That's probably the next stop then.
All right. As you recall, Perkins had said that he was off to the western side of the city, near more of the slums area of the lower city. You head that way and you see that the shops look a little more run down, and that it indeed does look more slum-esque here. But there's one shop that is wide open this morning. Oh, hello, dog. There's one shop that is wide open this morning, and the front stoop has been swept, and there's a big emblazoned P on a shield out front, and it's got like a little feather underneath. Are we showing off drink?
Yeah, Shadow Reels is amazed by the class.
The chalice.
All right,
Sure,
the chalice.
Why does this happen?
I'm like,
with
okay. On the front stoop, you see the elderly stout man that you'd encountered before, Sir Perkins. He's just finishing the sweep of the last step and walks inside. His back is turned to you all.
Perkins! Jing!
As
Got her! She's got to be quiet now until I say her name 3 times.
Wow.
Whose name?
This is gonna be
I
a
wish
fun
I'd
show.
prepped suggestion, dang it.
So, as you call out his name in unison, he turns around. Who's that I see over there? Hello?
'Tis me, Ari. Oh no, Dawn. Well, I guess I've only got 2 left. No,
Thank
it's
you,
3.
chat.
What?
I just heard it.
Chat saved your audio. Perfect. And so he looks around and, how are you all this morning? Can I offer you a tour of the shop? We're not officially open yet, but please come inside.
Oh, well,
Yes,
you're very welcoming, sir.
I did tell him I would be here at first light.
Well, first light's a funny thing down in these parts here. But
Very
I
true.
guess I see by the gaping hole that someone had caused that it is first light, huh?
It is.
Yes, sir. Indeed. Mr. Perkins,
Yes.
Rumil Orphan. Pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you, sir. Have you known this lot long?
Some of them. I knew them before they came to this city. Lord Drecklin and I have recently become acquainted.
He nods his head and looks at the group and points at Ari. She's a strong one. Helped me with the cart.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
But do come in. Watch your heads, elbows, knees. Just be careful. And
Sure doesn't use into it.
as he walks into the shop, it's a dusty little shop that is covered wall to wall, floor to ceiling with a bunch of random items just hanging,
lovely.
sitting on the floor, stacked on top of one another. It is a variable heap of finds. And what you do see when you take a look at all of the finds is there's tons of bent up gear, things that look like they came from adventures in the past. You do see a couple magical lights hovering amongst the room that kind of float about.
Yes.
And then you see almost a light beam coming from a little tin can sitting on what appears to be the front register, as if these lights are emanating from this little metal object. But as you look around, it just seems like he's collected so many things and stuck it everywhere.
Look at this stuff.
Goodness.
Isn't it neat?
One
I think his collection's
is
complete.
Oh, I was about to say that. My collection indeed. These are things from various outings, one might say. Some traded, some found, some dug up, some pulled off of
Ground?
recently deceased. But
You looted a body.
I was just trying to rhyme.
Yeah, well done.
I've looted many bodies and skeletons in my time.
Wow,
Really?
Perkins.
So you've been out a bit then.
Oh, as a boy, my father would send me and my brothers out, and we would scout for more things to put on the shelves here. It just seems that the shelves themselves have only collected in these recent years. We haven't sold much. I mean, look how dusty this is.
In all of your travel, have you heard tale of the Dragon King?
Oh, the Dragon King. Have we ever heard of him? Yes, we have. This land, especially this region, has been under the Dragon King's, one might say, rule, another might say ambush, others might say lore, because they don't believe in the Dragon King. But the Dragon King is something known in these parts. What can I tell you about?
Everything, please.
We're largely unfamiliar, but we have heard the name floating about a bit and find it very curious, particularly given what appears to be the presence of dragons in this area.
Like, if a Dragon King was trying to possess a person, is there a way to free that person? Is that person going to be okay, or will it kill them?
Well, she's very direct.
Quite the lot
Very
of questions.
pointed question, that.
Just, a starting place.
He looks at the small vial in your hand and goes, how much of that brew have you had already this morning?
Oh, I forgot I had this. I should drink it. Glug, 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 glug.
Oh, good lord.
Well, sorry folks, she's probably gonna get a bit more chipper, as they say. Well, let me find the book here. And he walks over to a bookshelf that's leaning. It almost looks like it's built leaning or had some repairs and just got really off. And he starts pulling a few books out, and you see them slide down the shelf. Some dust shoots out as they all slide together a couple times. This book here. Oh, no, not that one. And he puts it at the top of the stack, and he pulls a few more. This one. It's the brief history of the lands. And he turns it, and you see that it's thousands of pages long. Let me find it here. And he gets about halfway through the book. The Dragon King. It talks about... Flips a few more pages. Here you are. Shoves a few random little bits and pieces off of the closest flat surface, and a couple little metal things clang to the floor.
Oh, goodness.
Small piece of glass, a little statuette crashes down. I'll clean that up later. Sets the book down in front of you all. It talks about the dragon lineage and the gatekeepers. Next to the dragon lineage and the gatekeepers, you see the symbols you've already seen. A golden dragon emblem next to the dragon king and the dragon lineage, and a purple sword next to the gatekeepers. He begins to flip pages in front of you, and you see ornate drawings of what seem to be leaders, all standing next to a floating purple rock. Almost diamond in quality, but not able to be seen through. And they seem to be standing in the mouth of a cave. In the back, you see the city, and you actually see the city growing in front of your eyes as he flips through about 10 or 12 of these leaders. And then he gets to a couple blank pages, and he goes, "Oh, I guess the last couple leaders haven't been penned into this book. Let's see, this is probably about 30, 40 years old. So, these are some of the leaders of the dragon lineage, you'll see," and he flips through. They take their power, they possess some of the original Dragon King or something with this stone, I'm not quite sure. Some believe it's a possession, some believe it's more or less a gifting. But they have to get to the stone first, and the stone apparently kills all unfit to rule. So, those fit to rule are able to touch the stone and become a ruler themselves. I don't know how the Dragon King fits in there, but everyone who becomes a ruler and is able to is part of the dragon lineage. And you'll see here, and he flips through, and you see various different people. They're not just from one lineage. You see a drow, you see humans, you see tiefling, you even see one goblin in there, but it looks like his rule was only for about 6 months. And you see a bunch of differences. Every non-human, however, is grinning ear to ear and seems to be full of the power that was bestowed upon them. Every human seems frustrated and downtrodden. And he gets back to the blank pages and goes, well, I must get the last couple kings in here, especially the late king. We will see what happens. The new heir should come to the throne in a week's time, I might say.
Where's the stone?
Judging by these photos, he looks at him, goes back through. The original author didn't write anything down here about where these portraits were created, but looks at the castle a little bit and the wall. I think it's to the east of here. It's somewhere out near where we saw the dragons battle as you were coming in that first day.
The cave? Is that where the cave would be?
That, based on what I'm seeing in this drawing, that looks like the castle here on the far side.
Do you know the name of this object, this purple stone?
No, it's, some call it like the ruler's stone, but I don't think it has a proper name.
That makes sense.
Stone.
But you did come in for an amulet, right?
Yes!
End up maybe a bow and arrow when you have a minute.
Oh, bow and arrow. He points over his shoulder, and there's bunches of bows hanging off in a corner with a big bucket of arrows just jammed in. And he sees Draclin kind of look at him questioningly.
So just to give you a heads up, as this was happening, I was kind of half listening and like walking around the shop, casting prestidigitation, cleaning all of the stuff that was bothering me. Just to add some flavor, but I'm good now.
He looks up and notices where you'd walk through. It's like everything is shining and clean, and there's bright colors. Oh, thank you.
Sorry.
The bow and arrow is on me. Take about 15, 20 arrows if you can find them. Thank you for your cleaning, sir. And he kind of steps behind the counter.
Couldn't help it.
He's behind the counter digging for a little bit. Yes, sir.
I might actually look for a longbow myself.
Yeah, feel free to step up to that wall.
Yeah.
You both see...
Just to check height and the draw and like that.
you both see tons of bows of various sizes, of various stringings, some a bit older, some a bit newer. You're able to find what you wish. None of them seem to be overly powerful or magical, just kind of standard bows.
Okay.
Nonetheless, Goth is going to take, 10 minutes, cast a quick ritual, walk around with a little detect magic on.
Cast a quick ritual. All right.
Puns of bows.
All right. Puns of
The
bows.
really big ones with.
All right. So he's behind the counter and digging for a minute. Aha! This amulet. And he holds up an amulet that, as it twists in the light, you see the golden dragon symbol with the purple sword almost like stabbed through. And he looks at it in a second. Supposedly this is one thing that will help you tame whatever powers are roaring up inside of this Dragon King. You'll see it here, and he flips through a couple of the pages, and you see there's, in the back of almost every image, there's another person, and they're wearing this bright crest. The people in the back, however, don't have as much detail painted to them, just that they're wearing this crest on their chest. And with that, he kind of looks around. One bow and about 20 arrows are free, but I do request a couple silver for the rest here. I've got to keep the lights on.
Oh, but of course. I have, I can trade you, and I'll take off, because I have a short bow at the moment. I'll take off the short bow, and I say, I can trade you the short bow as well as some additional gold, if that would be helpful to you.
No. Just swap the bow out. You're fine. That one looks in newer condition than most on the wall. So
it has not been used very much, to be honest.
You'll be able to hopefully find one to clean up and do well.
I have a quiver I don't need. I would be willing to sell it or.
A quiver you don't need, eh?
Mm-hmm.
He reaches out and takes a look at the quiver and.
I guess we probably do need a quiver, huh?
This is quite nice. How much you want for it? Couple silver?
If it's a couple silver for something quite nice?
Well,
it is just a quiver.
It is.
Whatever.
I'll give you 7 silver for it. Unless you want to find something on the walls.
I don't know if I saw anything there. Did I see anything?
You didn't see much to your eye. You probably saw a few things that glinted, but looked more like a fake diamond or a bent up piece of silver or something that's like not anything of your desire.
Okay, so I'll do that then. And then I do have these papers that I found. Can you tell me if you know anything about this creature? And I pull out the papers that we got in the shed at the island about the creature that needed to be fed, and I
this creature. Yes, it does come quite handy that you have these papers right now. You see this, and he points to a missing jewel on the amulet he just pulled out. Supposedly the creature of the deep has that jewel. It's quite important that you get that back.
Get that back.
Yeah, yes.
Get that back to the creature of the deep.
No. The jewel from the creature,
put on the
so you
amulet.
can put it in the amulet.
The amulet
yes,
does not have the jewel we need.
This missing part, and he.
As I look at the amulet, I clearly see that there has no jewel. It is silly of me, sir. I do apologize.
But this is my grandfather's writing. Apparently he was one that helped keep the beast fed.
So
do you know anything about this beast then?
Just that it is unfit for you to be swimming in that pond.
But how come nobody's been feeding it?
That I'm not sure, my dearest. I believe that it was supposed to go to a young man in town. But how do you know it's not being fed?
Well, we kind of happened upon the shadow, obviously, and there was
Yes.
no signs that anyone had been there in quite a while.
Oh, Well, if it's not being fed, stop by the Shadow Bakery. The sweetest treat in the city will actually be enough to calm it for a bit.
Then what was
It
the,
doesn't
what-
happen. It doesn't happen to look like a big frog octopus, does it?
No, but a big
Cool.
frogtopus. Wherever you saw this, it would be a frog hemoth. It's usually in the bogs. Hopefully you didn't see one near.
Yeah.
No.
Ooh.
And what would be the purpose of the wand that was with these papers?
The wand. Did you hand him the wand?
I didn't even pull it out yet.
I'm not sure what this wand is that you're speaking of.
Could you tell me about it? And I just show it to him. I don't hand it to him. But can I take my papers back too?
Yeah, he just
Okay.
leaves them on the countertop. Does it have any inscription on the end where you hold it?
Do I see an inscription on the
You,
end where I
you
hold
see a
it?
couple numbers on there. And
Okay, so I read those to him.
Yep, he hears the numbers. That is a wand of sparkly fire. It's something that the children used to use years ago before these were banned. A child actually caused a fire that took out half the city.
Oh,
But
goodness.
These were just toys back then, and I have a cabinet full of them. And he points. And Garth, at this point, when you look over, that's exactly when your detect magic kicks in, and you see just a pile of these wands glowing brightly of all different types of magic. And
When I flick it, does it do anything?
it doesn't do anything at that point. He does freak out a little bit. Oh, no, not in here. This is old wood.
How does it work? I don't understand.
Take it outside. Point it at nothing flammable. And it's something, what is it? Fire is great, fire is fun, is what you say, and it will cast a stream of fire and sparkles out. Supposedly non-harmful magic, but we will see. Again, if you burn the city down, I know who to point the blame to. But
But of course.
get some sweets, take them back to the pond. Don't be afraid of the monster, and it shouldn't harm you.
But if we have to get something that it took or it ate the jewel, because we're gonna need that back for that amulet, like
Well,
right away.
Well, you're going to have to get the creature to come to you with the treats, and maybe it's on its creature, maybe it's in the creature. I'm not quite sure.
Maybe we'll let the druid do it. You
I
know
like that
animals the
idea.
best.
That is true.
I believe in you.
Okie dokie. Well,
Perkins, my good man.
Yes.
Do you have any other magical items here for purchase?
Yeah,
Oh,
do I see anything else glowing?
You do see a few other items that glow very faintly, as if they were magical at one point. Nothing sticks out except for one big old helmet shoulder piece hanging behind the counter. It's a big bulbous helmet with shoulders that go down a few inches around all sides of the body. He turns and looks. This is magical here. You'll see that it's a diving kit. That is something that might come in useful if you wish to go speak with the monster, but it's almost a fathom deep.
I just had a thought come to me. Do you happen to sell Epicac?
No, I'm not sure what that is.
That would have been very helpful.
What is
Oh,
this
God.
Epicac?
It's a potion
potion
that makes things throw things up that they ate that they.
Of regurgitation.
Yeah.
Oh, a potion of regurgitation. We don't have those here, but some of the sellers might out in the seedier parts of town, just around the corner.
Well, sir, how much for the diving kit?
It's got a big dent in the helmet. I'm not sure it quite works.
You could rent it.
If you want to borrow it and see if it works, be my guest. It's been up there
Sure.
since my great grandfather, I think. He pulls
Might
it down
be able to mend it.
and he
Sure.
pulls a bunch of cobwebs down with it, and dust just falls to the floor. Bring it back in, I guess, similar condition. Thank you.
Sure, and I'll take it from him.
Is the dent in a metal part, or is it glass?
It's in a metal part at the top. You do see in the front where the face would be, it seems to be completely open.
If we can find a blacksmith, I could fix this.
Well, if you could fix it and return it to its original luster, then maybe I will pay you for that and trinkets items here, or some of the last bit of my purse.
Okay, items are cool. I'm not much into purses.
Oh, all right. Anything else for?
It's
you lot?
okay.
Well, this amulet, would we be able to take it with us to make sure we have found the correct stone?
It's all yours. I wish
We
nothing to
paid
do with
for
this
it.
Dragon King.
Perfect. Yes. Oh, we'll handle the Dragon King. What could go wrong?
Only everything.
Oh, you just say that because you're right.
Thank
Well,
you.
I wish nothing to go wrong.
Pleasure to meet you, Mr. Perkins.
Perkins. Sir Perkins.
Oh, Sir Perkins.
Sir.
So why, sir?
A long line of Perkins rulers here. We once held an office in the castle, and he just kind of trails off and walks to the back and continues his story. You hear stuff about essentially being the #1 seller for any items to the kings of both the upper and lower, up until his great-grandfather, and he adds a few greats in there and loses a few greats. Like, he doesn't know exactly when they were the #1 only seller to the royalty.
Got
That's
it.
a difficult
I just thought you were a fellow lord. I just was wondering. Thank
What?
you for that wonderful
Lord?
story.
And he leans back around one of the shelves. Oh, I have a lord in my midst. Sorry. And he bows in front of you.
No problem. No problem.
She's a
You
princess.
forget to do it all the time.
No! And he bows in front of each of you. You must all be royalty.
No, just
She's a
I
princess.
start. I
I
walk
just
out the
said
door.
that. That's why.
true.
Yep.
We think I leave.
All right.
So, we gotta get back to that bench. But I'm
Yes.
looking for a blacksmith on our way.
I'm sure the helmet's fine.
And we want to stop at the Shadow Bakery.
Oh yes, we need to stop there
Oh,
for
of course.
a sweet treat.
All right. The Shadow Bakery is actually just not too far down, back closer to the inn. But past the inn, you do see that there is a blacksmith that is just starting to fire up their kiln for the morning, and they're also starting to sharpen a few swords.
Cool. You guys want to grab the sweets, and I'll go fix this up. See what we can do.
Sure.
That sounds good.
Meet you back here, Lord
Where-
Draclin. Mine.
All right.
Yes.
Wait, Ari, do you have
Here you go.
do you have smithing tools?
Do I have smithing tools? Yes.
Because we don't. Well, no, I'd burn a spell slot for it. Never mind.
Artisan's tools, and I
That-
picked. Well, I have artisan's tools.
No,
I
you
mean,
have.
you're-
See,
Well, if
you
you-
are
Oh.
heading to a smith.
I think if you go to a
So-
smith, I'm sure, like, if
Yeah,
you
no.
rent the space, they'll let you use the equipment.
No,
too.
I was just thinking if we were remote, I might be able to cast heat metal on it, and then you could bang it, and it would essentially we could make a blacksmith, but I would be burning some spell
Save your
slots.
spells.
So
It's not necessary.
I
yeah,
may not. I also may not use magic on a magical item. It may not respond how we'd expect.
True.
Could be entertaining though.
Please grab me.
It
a
would be
crystal,
entertaining. I would agree
Like
with
putting
that.
the chest inside Linus.
if you could.
what could possibly go wrong?
As you're
Function of
all
space
kind
and
of
time.
bickering about what to do, you come up on the Shadow Bakery, and there's a couple bright glowing orbs floating out in front. And inside you see a counter full of many delectable treats. A force field is conjured up in front of them. And you see a blue flickery glow to keep patrons from reaching in and grabbing anything. And you see a small child reach out and kind of bounce their hand right off of the force field, and he tries again with more force, and it bounces back and smacks him in the face, and he falls right on his butt and huffs and walks back over to the table. And then the door opens, and a goblin with a tall baker's hat steps out and goes, welcome to Shadow Bakery. We just have our fresh rolls today. And there's other things coming out. You'll see quickly that there's donuts and croissants and various other things to eat. Step in and place your orders. And he kind of dances a little bit in place, holding the door open for you, grinning ear to ear. Literally ear to ear.
Do we want to go in on a dozen donuts while we're here as well?
I was just gonna say, why don't we just get a dozen whatever, and then we all can have some. Astro can have one, and then we have at least, 5 left for the monster? That should be plenty.
Well, at least 2.
At least,
Perfect.
if you want, whoa, you are, oh, you guys, I heard tales about you. You were fighting some stuff, right? Some dragons upstairs?
2.
Yes,
2?
we've become famous in 2 days.
We'll give you
Some of us. Yes, of course.
We'll give you some extra croissants, just because. Whoa, dragon slayers! And he's bouncing up and down at the door.
That's our new thing.
Could you
song
throw
right
in
there.
a baguette for me?
Oh, a baguette, yeah. I'm not sure we have any of these cooked yet. We actually do have a few. They should be done in just a couple moments' time.
Oh,
Yeah,
great.
yeah. Step in. They'll help you out inside.
Perfect.
As you step inside, this goblin kind of dances at the door and he closes it behind, careful not to slam it shut, as you see that there's some ornate glasswork in the front windows and the front door. Another goblin stands behind the counter, and you can barely see from about nose up. Welcome to the Shadow Bakery. Give me your orders and we will send it out to the... We'll give it to you. And then you hear from the back. We will give you food that you order in a box. Oh, you will box up your food to go if you wish to. Let me know which food you want. Just point at it. Don't hit your hand on it. It's force field.
Do your boxes have little compartments inside?
No, the sweets can
never
touch
mind.
each other. It's fine. There's no problem with sweets touching.
Is it a nice pink box?
It's a light purple box. We don't have pink boxes here. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's fine. I've just seen pink boxes other places.
And you see him kind of like tippy-toeing up and looks over to get a glance of Garth. Oh, I didn't see you over the countertop. Sorry, sir.
I didn't see you either.
Well, let us know what you wish to eat, and we will give you, like I said, a whole box of croissants, right? And he leans back towards the kitchen. 1 whole box of croissants for the Dragon Slayers. And a light purple box comes out of the kitchen with a baguette sitting on top already. And the little goblin here is just kind of waiting for you to make an order of all of the treats inside this force field cabinet.
I'm going to need 2, at the very least, 2. Do you have any chocolate sprinkled donuts?
We have chocolate. We have chocolate with crunchy chocolate on top, but I'm not sure it's whatever these sprinkles are.
They are also called jimmies in some places. They are. Trust me.
How about I just give you?
Never heard of it.
He's like, just go with it.
How about I just give you a mix of some of our finest treats?
Oh, the variety box. Yeah, that'll be fine.
Perfect. That sounds
He
excellent.
reaches down and these giant tongs come up, and he's like carefully grabbing and setting them into a box. And then he takes the 2 boxes, and all you see is the boxes and the baguette, and he brings them down to the end. That'll be 3 silver, please. And a little goblin hand comes popping out and around the boxes.
As we were looking at the rows, I'll find like an empty row, and I'll kind of like minor illusion exactly what Garth was describing, like as if it's in the row, like sitting there, and I'll kind of point at him like, "That's what you want, right?" The
goblin turns and goes, "Oh, I didn't know we have one of these. I'll just put it in here too.
Perfect.
Hang on a second."
Now end the illusion.
He runs back into the kitchen, and doesn't realize the illusion just disappears as he grabs it with the tongs and like throws it at the box. He comes back out. My manager says I'm not to charge you for these things. They're really excited that you're here, and thank you for slaying dragons.
I think they're looking up.
You may have these treats. And the boxes slide a little bit closer to you. And at this point, we'll go to Ari, who is at the blacksmith. One young man is getting the morning prep done, and he looks up. Miss, we're not ready yet for any work, but
Totally cool. I have to fix this, and like my grandpa taught me how to blacksmith, but I don't have my tools because we're traveling. We slayed some dragons, in case you hadn't heard of us, but I was wondering if I could just like real quick borrow a tool to like, bang bang, fix a dent. Gotta go underwater, find a jewel, save this.
Man, you gotta lay off the brew. That stuff will kill ya. Man. Okay, let's just see here. What is it? I do need you to help me, move this stone. You see these little piddly things, they don't work.
I pick it up.
And you pick up one of the big grindstones that he was sliding across the countertop. You see the marks that he's left, and you put it into the wheel and spin it nicely. And without thinking, you grab a sword nearby and just test it, just to make sure the grindstone is spinning at the right rate. And the jaw drops on this kid, and he goes, "Whoa, that takes a lot of training. You must know what you're doing. You slip me a couple silver, and I won't tell anybody that you were here. But if you do use some of the materials, I need them reimbursed. But if you don't need any materials, then you're good."
Cool. I toss him a couple silver.
All right. He kind of turns and looks away and continues some of his other work and keeps just one eye on you as you heat up the metal and do your work to bang out the dents.
Great.
As you work with the piece, though, you notice that where the open face hole is, every time you reach to like put your hand in, that has almost a force that pushes back at you. With enough strength, you're able to push through it and hold the piece to do your work. But as soon as you let go, your hand gets ejected back out.
Whoa. Cool.
It doesn't take much time for you on your caffeine high to fix the dent.
It's like a jackhammer, just.
Basically. The young man, his jaw continues to drop as you're working so quickly and swiftly and tossing tools back where they need to go, without even thinking, as this is second nature to you. And he kind of looks around your shoulder as you're finishing up the last little bit of polish. Whoa! That looks pretty cool. Did you build it yourself?
No, Perkins.
Oh, that old man? His stuff's weird, but,
Dude, his stuff is epic. You have clearly never been on an adventure before.
Nope. I've been here all my life, all 16 years and 3 months, you know. Soon when I'm 17, I'll be able to take ownership of my own blacksmith.
That's cool.
Right over there, and he points to this little tiny hut just down the road with a broken grindstone. That hopefully will be a nice little spot to sharpen swords, I think.
Hey, it's a start.
Humble beginnings.
Right across the street from the competition.
From his dad's shop.
He would take over anyways.
Basically. He waves you off as you go to meet the group two large light purple boxes being carried with a baguette in the hand of Drackland.
Are we out
fixed
of the
it!
city?
You're in the city still at the moment. You need to talk
Oh,
about
we're
what's
gonna-
next.
Oh, we're
You're just
going
meeting,
to the
like, the-
park. We gotta go to the portal. So we're going that way.
All right, so you're heading towards the park. You walk through.
I'm already eating a croissant,
You're already eating a croissant.
Yep, and it's delicious.
Did you
Oh.
pull that from the variety box or from the monster box?
We can
Those
just
are-
move a donut to the croissant box, and then
I just
He
wanna
said
make-
it's like half eaten. He's just like,
so we move
Yes.
a donut to the croissant box, and then I take. Is there like a plain donut in the box? Just like a plain like cake donut?
Oh yeah, there's all
Okay.
sorts of things.
Well, I'm gonna give that one to Astro.
As you hand it to Astro, he just grabs onto it and holds it and wags his tail and stands there like he doesn't know what to do with it and bounces around.
Eat it, you silly dog.
And he looks around and sets it down, takes a bite out of it, chews it up, and then carries the rest with him.
All right, whatever. And then I take one as well.
All right. So, donuts in mouths. The conversation as you are walking through sounds something along the lines of. Basically, you do walk past a few other small carts being set up with fresh meats and fruits, and you get up to one of the gates that leads to the upper city. The bright sunbeams coming down. It takes you a moment to get used to how bright it is in the upper city as compared to the lower city. And you head to the park, which is in the southwest part of the city.
Oh, he hasn't been here.
Rumil hasn't been here. He's
Yeah.
following. He's following.
nice.
Yeah.
It's a nice park. It's nice to see that they have a little bit of nature in the midst of this.
There's
Um.
one piddly tree, like a sapling growing in one corner.
Okay, so it's not as
and
good
there's-
as I thought it
There's
was.
grass. No, it's
Oh,
a
see,
big.
there's grass.
it's
It's
a-
green. There's a bit of something.
Oh,
No, that's
just
good.
you
That's good.
wait.
You do see a little bit of work being done around the edges, as if they're planting flowers. The park kind of slopes up into the center where a lone bench sits.
Are you gonna use the collar, Garth, or can I put Astro in my pocket for this?
Look. Can't he jump and then like teleport to safety?
I don't remember what he did last time.
Yes,
I
he
think
did.
he did, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he teleported in.
he teleported.
Doobly
Because I
doo.
was kind of thinking maybe you could put on this helmet contraption and shrink down and then take your mage hand, because it's...
Oh! Yes,
Maybe?
that could work.
So you don't get thrown face first into the bench again?
Yes.
So, just so
One-
everyone is aware, we are on the upper city right now.
Yeah.
And the bowls for breakfast were probably left in Perkins' shop at this point. Whoops.
Oh.
Because you were eating your breakfast and you were talking to Perkins and
Yeah.
exchanging.
Oh, I
We gotta
assumed
go
that we put
back
him in our...
there.
We'll be back.
Make a
Gotta
note.
return the suit.
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
We'll
Yeah, we got to drop the suit back off.
when we drop the suit back off,
The
Alright.
what?
we'll get.
So, the lot.
The helmet.
The group of you approaches this middle bench. Rumil, you're most likely a little bit.
I'm just following. I
Can
have no
I-
idea what's going on.
Yeah?
I grew up with a middle bench.
No,
He was a
I'm
good
not
guy.
gonna go first.
Travis middle bench.
Travis
Seriously?
middle bench.
Goth. I'm goth.
Oh.
Are you two just gonna
Like
like...
Chicagoans
Oh.
have weird names.
I know what I want to do. I'm gonna quick just reach up and like grab the edge like I did last time.
Alright. So, Valari hops up onto this bench, kind of looks around, and does a little leap, and just grabs onto something, and you see that she disappears up into thin air, as whatever she grabbed onto almost pulls her up and out of view.
I like nudge Rumiel. What? Where did she go?
You
You're,
weren't-
you're asking me?
What just
I have
happened?
no idea.
And I'll just like start running, and then like,
Jump.
and then say just kidding, and then jump off the bench through as well.
And Draklin, you turn and you jump and do a backflip and grin and just pop right through.
Can I when I landed,
Mhm.
I pulled out that wand, and what was it? Can you remind me what I had to say? I would remember.
What do you remember or think it to be?
I remember fire is great, fire is fun.
And as you wave the wand and say fire is great and fire is fun, a burst of flame just shoots straight up into the air. And Draculin lands next to it with fire just
my
shooting
cloak's on
straight up.
fire!
Well, I wouldn't have shot it at the but
Um,
I slide it back in.
you almost have no
Batting my
control as
cloak.
it pops a bunch of flame. And what happens next?
So Valari helps Garth put this giant thing on, which I'm guessing is not exactly his size.
Yeah.
Can I enjoy? I don't have control. Never mind.
And I'm like, all right. And then I do the belt.
It shrinks down. It feels almost as heavy on you as it did at full size because it does shrink with you.
Right. Proportions.
Yes.
Then I'll cast Mage Hand, and I'll climb on and buckle in.
Mage Hand sputters a little bit and wobbles around as you're right on the cap of the weight, and it flies around like an old car almost dying. You kind of hear pop, 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 basically. And you fly up into that same spot and disappear through. Valari and Draklin see you sputter through on the other side and almost come to a crashing halt on the floor. And next to Ari and Rumil, you hear, whoop, and you see Astro look around with half a donut still in his mouth, and he runs and springs up and teleports through. Shadow Reels, it was great to have you here for a bit. We will catch up with you soon. Thank you.
Thanks for the croissants.
And just while we've had this minor little break here, since we're all remote, our players will step off and do any little breaks they need during the show. We're going to try to run without breaks here. So sorry if you guys were counting on a break. We usually break about halfway through. So at any point you need to pause us or turn us way up as you run off to grab snacks, drinks, etc. We'll still be here. But a dog comes popping through, and as he lands, the donut cracks, and he looks around and he just starts gobbling up the donut pieces. And now we're left with Ari and Rumil outside of what was just happening.
Rumil, it's a portal. If you remember those.
Right.
Portal! Convenient.
Right.
Over the bench. And I point to where it should be. So, you need a hand, you got the air.
Well, we can give it a shot, I guess.
I'll wait to make sure you get through.
You can help him.
Thank you. Yeah, that might be useful.
He can just
Go.
grab the
I'm just
edge.
gonna because I'm not particularly tall.
You can stand on the
Yeah.
bench.
So kind of standing on the bench and kind of trying to feel around. Being 5'5", can I feel where this is at?
As you put your hands up, you feel a slight pull, but you notice nothing visually. You just feel like a very slight pull on your fingertips, as if something's up there ready to pull you through.
Oh, this is exceedingly weird. All right, well,
I give him a brace for a foot. Up you go.
thank you. Put weight on the foot, my foot on my weight.
Yep.
On her step, and try and, because I don't know if it's just gonna be a tumble through on the other side, so I'm just gonna kind of tuck and roll.
As you lift up and you reach, you feel just as you're starting to tuck, the pressure of Ari's hands under your foot disappear, and you kind of sense that you're gonna fall and almost kind of tumble right off the bench. And you do. You hit the edge of the bench and roll and are able to stand right back up. B1RD had fluttered off your shoulder at that moment just before the crash and lets out
I was going to send him in.
And I just go, watch out!
Lets out an alarmed chirp. And then Ari's able to make her jump and land right on the bench and see everyone in there. interesting disarray at the moment.
All right.
Alright.
then.
Take off the belt. I'm gonna take off the helmet.
Cool. My grandpa and I used to feed fish at the pond, and we'd like take old bread and crumple it and like toss it, and it would bring them to the surface.
That could be what we have to do.
Do you think it works for monsters?
We should get him to come to the surface, but we probably need him to come out of the water. So if he has the stone, I don't know. We have to figure out if it has the.
We can make a trail.
Is it an amethyst or just a purple rock?
It's a stone of some sort. It looks like it might be a purple piece that's missing.
Okay.
Sorry.
Poe's got it.
Nice one. Good work,
It
Robotus.
took a minute.
Well, I think we have to head towards the northern section of the island.
That
to
was
where it
where.
is
Yeah.
deepest
Okay.
first. And I think maybe what we should do is just we'll take some of the croissants and we'll just throw them. And we'll
Well-
start with like 2 and see what
Well-
happens.
Well, you could probably just like throw like parts of croissants. You probably don't need to throw a whole croissant.
It was
right
the sweet
away.
rolls. The croissants were for us for
No, the
eating.
donuts were for us. The croissants
Right.
are for the monster.
Perkins told us to get the sweet rolls.
Well, a
It's the
croissant
croissant
and-
is a sweet bread.
It's also savory.
if you salt it, yes.
It is salted. It's
We bought
butter.
the sweet
Anyways.
ones.
We can try one of each and see what the monster likes.
Thank you for tuning in, everybody. We just spent the last 3 hours debating what is a sweet roll. Just kidding. Continuing on.
Well, while this is happening, I'm gonna use my action to create my like hex weapon that can create anything, and it's gonna create like a butter knife. And I'm going to take my baguette and start just like kind of cutting it. into pieces.
Oh my gosh.
Perfect. And gnawing on new pieces of baguette you've cut
Well,
off.
I could try and do a bit of exploration in the in that lake portion, and try it a little bit and just see
I don't want
what's
you to
down
get.
there.
We got the suit. Let's start with some bread. And if it
Gotta
doesn't,
start
bring
somewhere.
monster, we'll give it a go.
We may have to try and tempt him out a bit. I'm gonna whistle and call B1 or D. Lord Draculin, hand me one of those bits of bread.
Okay. Like take like very finely sliced pieces, 2 pieces, and kind of hand them to him.
All right.
And I'm gonna like kind of tap it onto B1RD's foot,
He
so he,
flutters
like,
up and grabs it. Yep.
grab it, and then I'll kind of point over towards the water.
Yep. So you're aware this is a mildly triangle-shaped island. At any point across, it's about 50 feet from like a point to an edge.
Okay.
For this island. So it's not a huge island, but it is something of somewhat space. You've got about 40-50 feet of water from any part of your land piece to the outer land. B1RD kind of starts making loops and skims across
Okay.
the water and taps lightly the piece of bread along the water as if he's fishing for something. He makes 2 or 3 laps, and you watch him, and nothing seems to happen. The ripples from the bread and B1RD fade down very quickly to a very, very calm, still top on the water. No ripples, no breeze across it. Incredibly still with B1RD's tempting with the baguette.
Morsels.
Huh.
I'll whistle him back in
He flies back
with
in,
his
and the bread
with
is
his
soaked.
sopping.
It's soaked. He's missing like the bottom half of it, but he did what he was supposed to.
Yeah.
Perhaps we should try the sweet roll.
I'm gonna smell it. Does it smell salty?
It does not.
Okay.
It smells
Then
just
I'm gonna
like
eat.
water-soaked bread.
Then I'm gonna eat it.
It's a very mushy, water-soaked bread.
No.
You
Okay.
notice no additional flavors or tastes.
Ugh.
It wasn't the most pleasant one. But it is fresh water, in case anyone was wondering.
Why, would you, why, Rumio? Why?
Do we move on to the soup?
Why not? It was bread. Bread tastes good.
I guess.
Ew.
Let's try the a sweeter roll though. I think that would be fine. We have at least one left.
You open the box and there are 3 sweet rolls left.
So throw like a part of one. Don't throw a whole one.
I rip it in half and I throw it, aiming for like middle, slightly closer to us of the.
The sweet roll lands and splashes and ripples and floats there for a moment, and then you start to notice some bubbles popping up very slowly, as if you've gotten the attention of something in the depths.
Quick, another.
I take the half that I had left and I rip it in half and I throw it between us and the sweet roll I already threw.
A few more bubbles appear, but nothing exciting, as if there's too much motion, just as if there's some notice of these sweet rolls hitting. And at this point, you start to notice that the bubbles are not just in a few feet, but span about 20 or 30 feet, as if they're floating up from quite deep.
And I throw the last quarter in between me and the closest sweet roll.
Bubbles appear a bit more, as if something's slowly making its way up.
Really quickly, as there seems to be some activity, which one of us is going to wear the device to do the swimming? Because if we have the attention of it up here and we do not seem to see the stone itself, then someone may have to go down to its lair.
Well,
Nose goes.
I could join someone if anyone else wanted to do the swimming.
Here, if I'm gonna be honest, I was already thinking about using Ray of Sickness as a potion of regurgitation.
Let's make sure it's eaten it first, because it might not have eaten it.
It's possible. I can also speak with animals.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
So, even though I might be able to accompany someone else should they decide to make the dive, if I take the diving helmet, as it were, it does appear that if it keeps some salt, the water away from my face, I might be able to speak into the depths. I don't know if any one of you have a way to increase the volume of my voice, but I might be able to call the thing out, as it were.
So...
I mean, yes.
Could you turn into a fish and talk to it?
Wrong character.
I don't know that I could speak as a fish. The lips and tongue, they just don't quite...
What about a whale?
I
had a friend who spoke whale once.
Oh, really?
I'm like, Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I haven't been in communication with whales much, being from the forest, but...
I'm like slowly taking the big diving suit and like bringing it towards him and like start putting it on you, Ramil.
Oh no, he was going anyways, right?
As this is all going down, we have a $5 donation.
Oh!
Thank you, POTUS. The scroll that I drew says a storm bruise, causing difficult terrain.
So,
as you're all talking about this, it starts to rain.
Oh, that's fine.
Oh, lovely. Well, watch out for mud.
Rumio, so if I'm understanding it correctly, you would transform into something that can swim?
I can transform into something that can swim, but if I stay as myself, I can talk to the thing.
You can what?
Probably.
Talk to it?
I might be able to talk to the creature.
If he turns into the animal, though, he cannot speak to the creature.
Precisely.
The bubbles start coming up faster at this point.
I do
All
think we've got
right.
its attention.
I just don't know if you should go down there alone.
Well, we can be watching. We can have your back.
Thank you, Lord Draclin. That does mean
I mean,
a
I
bit.
would go, but if you wear the suit, then I
Okay.
can't go with
As
you.
he starts putting it on, I'm gonna like sit down. I think casting time is an action. I'm gonna try and cast. Due to like looking at the rapidity of the bubbles, does this look like it's starting to surface,
It does.
or is?
It
Oh!
does look like it's coming up, like it's within 20, 30 feet of the surface at this point, because the bubbles are becoming more rapid. But you also hear bubbling to your left and right as well.
Well, in that case, how long does this take to put on? Like, is he just like setting it on me and then it's on? Or are there like buckles and straps and stuff?
You notice that there are a couple buckles and straps that look like it holds under both armpits, so that way it doesn't lift
Okay.
off of you.
Okay. Then once he gets it on,
So it'll take about 15, 20 seconds to do that.
okay, perfect. And how far are the bubbles from the shore?
They're about halfway between both shores. So between your little island and the shore outside.
Okay, which is how far away
About
from
25
25 feet?
ish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. In that case, I will, as he's finishing it up, I will cast Speak with Animals.
All right.
Then I will go to like the edge of the water. Because my goal is to not necessarily like go all the way. I just want to get to the point where I can like kind of duck my head under the water.
Mm-hmm.
Were you gonna say something before I do this? Cause...
No. This thing is heavy as you walk up to the edge of the water, and as you look down, there seems to be no
shore.
easement into the water. It just drops right off.
All right. Well, let's try this. I'm gonna like lay down, like, and kind of scoot forward. Ori, give me a hand on the legs.
Yep. I grab his feet.
How far down is the water?
Yeah, I'm gonna put my head underwater, but I don't want to like fall in.
I got you, man.
Perfect. Anybody have a way to increase volume here? Otherwise, I'm just gonna go for it. No?
I can cast thaumaturgy, but I think it only works on myself.
Yes.
Because it says your voice boom, so I don't
Yep.
think I can magnify your voice.
Project, buddy. Have fun.
Well,
Use the
then-
diaphragm.
I'm gonna see. I'm gonna kind of okay. Then I'll duck my head under.
Yep.
At that point, can I still like breathe? Because I'm just
Yeah.
going for.
You
Okay,
notice
cool.
that as you put the face of this contraption into the water, that the water almost has a bubble right around the front, and it kind of seems to go outside of your vision, as if there's a bubble that lives on the face of this mask and then in where you
Right.
can breathe. And as you breathe in and out, the bubble kind of shifts. It seems that you're getting some air, but you do notice that bubbles are going in and out. So
Okay.
bubbles are coming out of like this main face area, but they're also coming in the other side. It's almost like you've got a breathing tube.
Perfect.
And you see a little bit of that, but as you look forward and down into the depths, you notice that it's just a straight drop off on either side, and it goes into darkness, but that darkness is bubbling and rising up at you as almost a dark cloud coming up.
Okay. Then
I just wanted to point out the fact that we threw a bunch of food in and then put your head there.
getting
I
there.
think he knows.
So at first, like kind of seeing the bubble, Rumo's just gonna be like, "This is amazing," completely forgetting that a animal can understand him. But then, like coming back after seeing like how this is working, he's gonna, as Poda says, speak from the diaphragm. He's gonna project as much as he can, and just kind of call out, "Lord of the Depths, we seek an audience to speak," and then come back up
As you come back up, the ground...
to try and not
Yeah. Yeah.
determined as food.
The ground tremors behind you, and all of you are able to see a giant tentacle land up on one side, and then a second lands on the other, as if like grabbing the island, and the water rises up, and a giant kraken head comes up. But it's not like any kraken you've seen. This kraken is...
Oh yeah, because we've seen krakens before.
You've seen krakens in books, you've seen krakens in drawings.
Not this
But,
one.
Of course
not-
I have,
not
obviously.
This one, it does seem to be a bit misshapen, as if it was conjured into something smaller at one point, and it bust free. You see some scars across. You see like a bulbous shape, as if it was in like a canister of sorts. On the two tentacles that have come down, you see striping of various scars, as well as this thing has also seen many
How
battles.
big around are the tentacles?
As they land, they're about 1.5 feet, 2 foot in diameter.
Okay, so I'm gonna try something. Garth, do you still have the belt, like, out?
No, I lost it.
You lost?
The head appears as you're all quickly
Guard!
talking.
You mean this
Give me
now?
the belt. Yeah, so I
Oh.
run and I grab it.
Mhm.
I'm gonna cast. How far away is the closest part of a tentacle?
It's about 20 to 30 feet out. You're
I'm
not right at the shore.
Gonna cast Misty Step,
Mhm.
so I get like right up on a tentacle.
I think... Oh, Misty Step doesn't require darkness. You're good.
Right, and I'm gonna put the belt on the tentacle.
As you cast Misty Step and land right next to the tentacle, I'm going to need everyone to roll for initiative.
Ah!
And
We were
Valari-
nice. We gave it treats.
Valari, I'm going to need you to also roll a dexterity save.
Okay.
So,
A save.
a save.
At this point, I tried to make it clear that I was trying to take the thing off. I'm assuming I'm still struggling with that, though. Will that take like an action or two?
Yeah, you take an action.
Well, I was gonna say, can you give me
You
just
said
one?
initiative
Because I was
first,
starting
though,
to do it.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, you've pulled your head up and you started seeing it come out of the water, so you're probably already, like, ripping this off.
Yeah, that was my thought.
All right, so let's go through the grouping for initiative. Ari,
22.
22. Not as good as your 25 last time. Garth,
20.
20. Hey, you're beating your 7 finally. Lord Drackland,
17.
17. Nice. Rumiel,
14.
14. Valari,
You get this all
I
in
got
order.
a 3.
3. And Astro.
Valari always last. Valari's always last.
All right. And then I need your dexterity save.
I got a 13.
13. All right. Valari goes rushing to put this belt on the Kraken, on the one tentacle, and it comes up and slaps her and knocks her back on her butt. And you slide a couple feet, as now the terrain is difficult, as it's downpouring hard, everything is muddy. And this creature is coming up out of the water, washing water up onto the shore. You are basically standing on a giant mud triangle. The center again still has the bench with a little bit more raised, so you feel the mud kind of sliding towards the edges of the water ever so slightly. So you feel as you stand in place that you're just kind of sliding towards the edges.
Can we just really quick acknowledge that that was a really clever idea, and it would have
Was.
been really epic if it worked, because then we would have had a little baby kraken.
What a great
I don't know about
me
baby.
having my ability to fly taken away.
I still have the belt. It's not on it.
All right. Now, with Valari knocked back on her butt and slid up towards the center, Doggo is right up next to you, bristling his fur, growling, and looking in all directions, as on one face you see a kraken, and on the other two faces you see tentacles of the kraken. Sorry, the faces of the island. So you're on a
Oh,
triangle.
Jesus.
You're on
Like this is
sorry,
really
you're on a
nice.
triangle, and you see a face of a kraken and a
Two
tentacle
tentacles.
on either side.
Right.
Does it
and
look like he's gonna like take the island down or something?
It
Or, like,
looks like
pull it
he's.
down?
It looks like he's trying to go for whatever's on the island, and
Got it.
he swings another tentacle and smashes the small shack that was on the island there, and swats up and over all of your heads, just as like almost a warning shot.
Warning shot.
And because you have speak with animals, you do hear in the back of your mind, Rumiel, as it reaches out, it screams out, "Hunger!"
Well, dang it.
And it doesn't say much else, as you feel that this thing primally cannot speak, but it is communicating to you its strongest feeling and intention. But now, it's kind of roaring and screaming out of a big beaked mouth, and staring down the party in front of it, and you see it almost start to drool. Ari, it is your turn.
Well, even before you said this, I was thinking back to what Perkins said. So I am going to reach for a sweet roll, whatever's closest in the box. How far away is its mouth?
It's about 40 feet out. It's come up in
Okay.
the water, and you're standing a little bit back.
Okay. I want to move. Realistically, how good is my arm?
With a sweet roll that is being soaked right now,
I run forward 10 feet and I chuck it in its mouth.
you run forward 10 feet and you slide a little bit and you come up towards the edge of the water and you throw it. I need you to roll me at disadvantage a sleight of hand.
Why was it wet?
Sleight of
It's
hand?
raining.
It started
it's
raining
raining.
profusely.
The water just came up.
Sleight of hand, not strength or athletics.
Nope, sleight of hand is you now have this sticky, gross sweet roll in your hand that you're trying to let go.
Throw.
It's not so much that you can aim and huck it, it's more that you can let go of it and get it where you need to go.
You're at disadvantage.
Well, that doesn't help. It's not happening. I had an 18, but the other one was a 6 minus plus 1, so 7.
You let go of it and you see that it kind of sticks to your gloved hand and it twirls not where you want it to go and splats right on the face of the kraken. And it lets out a roar. You are now standing within a couple feet of the edge of the water as you've kind of slid on this muddy terrain. We now go to hopefully not Crash Tablet. Garth.
Wait, hold on. Just to clarify, I ran
Yeah.
forward 10 feet, and that brought me to the end of the water closest to him.
Yes, because he was out about 15, 20 feet in the water, and you
Okay.
were about 15 feet from the shore.
Can I finish my movement then and run back 10 feet since I saw that it didn't go anywhere?
You can run back 5 feet because you're on difficult terrain now, so all movement is halved.
She already
Oh,
made
no,
a
no.
movement, didn't she?
I have 30 feet.
Right.
Yep,
So,
so
But it's
movement
difficult
is
terrain.
halved.
Okay.
Everything's doubled.
Okay, I'll move 5 feet back then.
okay. I will also move up, and I will cast Mage Hand
Okay.
on the and have the Mage Hand pick up the box of sweets, like the whole pile of it, like grabbing the bottom box, whatever.
I think you guys had eaten through most of them. There's only like 2 left.
There's 2, and she took 1.
I didn't
I
didn't
did
have
not.
any of the sweets.
I had
So
none,
what-
he had none, you had 1.
So,
I only
Garth's
took one of the
face.
boxes, though.
so you're grabbing the box that you hope
I'll
has
say
stuff
one
in
of the
it.
boxes. One of the boxes was specifically for
All right.
the creature.
Yeah.
The
All
one
right.
that I took one from.
Creature box.
So it's missing. It's one
Missing
shy of
one.
a dozen. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So, I am going to grab that box, and I've gotten myself to where I'm 30 feet away from this thing's mouth, so that the Mage Hand goes straight up to the mouth, and kind of like waits for that opening and deposits it.
The whole mage hand box and sweets go in, and it chomps down. And you you hear a little bit of a rumble, and at that point, it opens its mouth again and lets out a blood-curdling screech.
I feel misled right now.
Now, here's a question. Does Rumiel, when he hears the screech, hear, "Yay!"
No, Rumiel in the back of his head hears, "More!" And it seems that this thing has gone unfed for many, many years.
Years?
There was a dusty little shack that is now shattered to bits. It appears to have not.
Teenagers.
Oh.
Well,
Well, it is
that was
eaten.
my turn.
Drackland.
Oh, you said it is eaten, and then you said Drackland.
It is eaten, Drackland.
Dead!
No, Drackland, it is your turn.
You're
You
saying
sir.
it's my
don't even
turn.
have to
Okay.
roll.
Oh, Drackland.
You're just like, well, that happened.
Are we fighting this then, folks?
I don't.
I'm just kind of. I'm taking
You
in the game. I'm taking
No,
a look around to
metagaming.
see what people are like. Oh, go time. Okay, that's what I see.
You,
Right?
you did
looking
see,
at the thing.
You
Like
see
the-
Valari laying on the ground, having failed putting the belt on. You see Ari and Garth having been throwing boxes of donuts at this Kraken's face, and you hear it roaring. That's about what you know.
That's what
basically.
we got right now.
Okay. Darn it! I really wish I hadn't created that butter knife now.
So you're now holding
I
a butter
will
knife.
use my action to turn the butter knife back into a bow. I'm gonna keep my shield out for the moment until I'm ready to use the bow. But that is my action. But I do have a bonus action, so I will. Let me make sure this is a bonus action.
You're not gonna fight with a butter knife? I'd love to DM a butter knife fight.
You do 1 point of damage.
There is no roll. It's
Go for the eyeballs first.
And then I will place a hex on it. So it's my bonus action. Let's see. Whenever I do extra damage when I hit it. Also, and then I'll choose. I'll give it disadvantage on ability checks with strength-based ability checks,
all right.
and that will be the end of my turn. I'll kind of like back up too.
Perfect.
I don't know where I am.
You'll probably be backing up towards the center of this island, here towards the bench.
Okay, sure.
Rumiel.
Produce food.
Let's see. I'm going to. Oh no, it's an action. I'm going to finish taking off the diving helmet. And try and.
Create wolves.
No, that's my action.
Just saying, maybe next time it can eat 8 wolves.
They would not be tasty.
Well, no, actually they just disappear, so it would try and kill them, and
They're
they would
not
just be
even
Like
air.
real.
celery, though. Like you might
even
right?
matter.
Yeah, you get really pissed off.
Create
But
celery.
I'll call out to the creature. Calm yourself. Food will come if you just hold on. As I'm taking this stuff off.
And is that your turn?
I mean, that's my action, and I can only say so much. I would
Yep.
say more,
Yep.
but that's what I have.
All right. This Kraken lets out another screech, and it's his turn. And he reaches out
We dead.
with
Valari's
a
about to
tentacle that comes up kind of right up next to him in the front and grabs at Rumiel, who is finishing pulling this thing off of its head, and tries to attack you.
I love Datchtorian's comment. Dracula throws down the bucket, pulls out a spoon. Garth asks, "Why a spoon, brother?" He responds with, "Because," and this is the Prince of Thieves part, "because, you twit, it'll hurt more." Such a good movie.
Rumil.
Yeah.
A 22.
Probably hit.
A 22.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Of course.
Bracket. I don't know.
He knows that hits.
Welcome back, Austin.
You take 8
Yeah.
points of damage.
You said 8.
8 points of damage.
Well, that's not bad. You're fine.
Could be
Okay,
worse.
For the
He's
moment.
fine.
And you are grappled
It's
and
just
lifted
our
up
healer.
into the air.
Okay.
Not the grapple!
Arya's like, whew.
Hey,
Uh,
Valari, after the Kraken eats the druid, cast Ray of Sickness. And then puke him back up.
He also takes another swat. At Valari
Yeah,
and a 17.
that probably hits. Let me double check. Yeah, that. Yeah,
It hits.
so close.
You take 9 points of damage and are grappled and lifted into the air as well.
Well, that sucks.
And with that, his turn is over, and it is Valari's turn.
No, I guess I have to roll to get out of this thing,
It
right?
is a strength check.
All right. Nope, I ain't getting out.
No?
No, this is 6.
All right. Do you need to yell anything out? You do have the ability to yell and scream as you're lifted up into the air.
I mean, I have the ability to yell, but I don't think anything really matters, and I don't think it'll be.
I will throw out there, looking at the grappled condition.
Yep.
Speed is 0 regardless of bonuses. Ends when grappler is incapacitated or when moved out of grappler's reach by an effect. This is not paralyzed, yes?
No.
Where you
No.
could essentially try to do things from within, you just can't necessarily
Yep,
move.
if you have a vocal only,
Yeah. Which I know I do. I was thinking of one thing.
Charm Beast, anyone?
Oh.
Yeah, if I have that one prepped. Yeah. I got great spells as long as you have everything prepped.
Is the Kraken wearing metal?
it's an all metal kraken. Just
Perfect, guys.
kidding.
I was gonna do something and then you started talking. I forgot.
I'll give you a second because your turn is mildly shared with Astro.
Right.
So I'll let Astro run. If you can find what you were looking to do, you can finish that out. But Astro, seeing that you've been scooped up, gets really bright blue and sparkly, and he teleports up with all of his might and latches at the tentacle. Oh yeah, he latches onto the tentacle and is just hanging there, and you hear as he's trying to free you. You see him kind of dangling right in front of you. Astro does... Astro, what is your bite? He does a full hit.
Woo.
So, he latches in and is hanging onto this kraken, and you hear a little bit of a from the kraken as it gets a mild bite on one of its tentacles.
I don't want to try to kill this thing.
So clarification. You said it has to have only a vocal component.
I
So
mean,
it'd be somatic.
but
Oh, it wouldn't be V?
V is visual,
it would only be
S is
Only
somatic,
vocal.
and M is material.
Oh, yeah, then the only thing I can do is not helpful. Because if it was V, I'd be out of this grapple.
Am I missing that?
No,
well.
I don't know
I'm,
what the
I'm just
component
I mean,
is.
your eyes
situation.
still work when you're grappled.
My what?
yeah. I was gonna say I don't know that you could necessarily do hand gestures.
Oh, is V verbal?
Yes.
Yes, V is verbal, but I don't know that
Yes, you're right. Sorry.
Oh,
you
okay.
aren't
Well,
incapacitated.
Thank you.
Well
He is
then.
verbal. Yes. I just mix those up.
Well then. In that case, I'm casting Misty Step. And I'm getting out of this grapple.
It's vocal only.
It's V only.
All right.
It's my only one that's verbal only.
Well, that'll do.
It's a 4-letter word.
Verbal, somatic is gestures, yes. M is material. I mix those two up. And also thank you, Penguin Witch Doctor, for hopping in. We do love learning and growing together, and I'm always happy to be corrected when I DM things wrong. So, you're able to cast Misty Step on your turn. So you're able to escape just as Doggo is jumping up and latching on.
Mm-hmm.
And so you Misty Step out. Where would you like to go?
Well,
Back towards like the center?
to solid ground.
Okay, so
I don't know where 30, like 30
so you
feet.
can basically get up towards the center near the bench. Be within about 5 to 6 feet from the bench. Because you were kind of lifted up over the
Yeah,
island.
whatever. I was lifted up, whatever 30 feet is.
So you'll be near the bench, and so you see Doggo come up in front of you and latch onto the bit of tentacle in front of you as you teleport down, and he sees that and catches it. So as he's latched on, he's able to let go and drop and start a little bit of his move towards you, but he can only get halfway to you from the shore. So he's not up next to you, but now that you and your doggo have made your turn attack, we're back to the top of the order with Ari.
I'm going to call out to my friends, do we run?
We kill
And-
it.
Then I am going to aim for, would it be an action to grab my great axe from behind my back? Yeah.
Yes,
I
because
didn't
it's a
see
big, heavy object you have to unsheath.
Would it be
and
less if I grabbed my bow?
You'd still have to knock an arrow, so it'd be an action to get it out, arrow pulled back.
And then with my second attack, or my second action, can I loose one?
If you can do 2 actual actions, I believe that's fine, but if you are doing a double attack, then that doesn't count as an attack. I don't recall what feat you have there.
I get 2 attacks per action.
So you get 2 attacks
So it'd be
per
specifically
action.
yeah.
So you would take your action to get your weapon ready. If you had your
Okay.
weapon ready, you'd be able to make 2 attacks instead of just 1.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm going to get my bow in my hand, and I'm gonna move back close to the bench.
All right. As you're all backing towards the back of the bench, or towards the bench, you've got your bow ready and are able to take a shot on your next turn. Garth.
I move to the apparatus.
All right.
Shed?
No,
What's the apparatus?
the
Oh,
helmet.
oh,
The helmet
The
thing.
suit.
And it's an action to put it on, right?
Correct.
All right. And then how far is it to the water?
10 feet?
It's
It's right there.
it's right
You
at
took
the
it
edge of
off
the
of
water.
it.
took
Yeah.
her to the edge.
Yeah.
So.
So I use my action to put it on, and I jump in the water.
And you're able to basically jump to get your toes on top of the water, and we're stopping your turn there. You're not able to do much more because you've moved up to it and put it on.
Okay.
So you've like started your jump.
Okay, I'll yell back to her. I was like, "You all can go. I'll find the jewel."
All right. And your strength is being questioned in
So
chat.
long, Garth.
And Lord Draklin,
Well, if it's on the ground, I can.
Does it
I can,
even-
like
well-
my way?
Here's the bigger question. I'm
Dive
sure
into
he
it.
could put it on, but does it even actually fit?
Not really. Lord Draklin, you see
Well,
the smallest
well,
of your party starting to leap towards the water as he's putting this thing on. It is your turn.
Okay, and I'm kind of by the bench. Seeing that, I'll kind of move in the opposite direction of where he jumped into the water, or he's jumping into the water, and then I will take 2 shots with my bow
All right.
at Miss Monsieur Kraken. That's gonna be, the first one is 17.
Hits.
Okay.
So Penguin Witch Doctor says he straps it under his legs, and I'm just picturing you riding it like a beach ball across the water. Like trying to sit on a beach ball. Okay.
That's 16 damage.
16
For the first one?
damage. Whoop, whoop. So you fire the shot and it lodges square into like the lower face portion of the Kraken.
Okay. Second shot is a 23 to hit,
Hits.
and that's gonna be 11 damage.
11 damage. The second arrow fires very close and lands right next to the first.
Alrighty, and that will be my turn. Oh, it's not. I mean, you said there's a storm, so it's not sunny out, right?
No, it is not sunny at all.
Great. Just making sure there's not sunlight. Okay, I'm good.
Perfect. Rumil.
Couple of things.
Yes, sir.
So looking over the grappled stuff, I'm going to assume that because I have the Warcaster feat, which allows me to perform somatic components even when holding weapons or a shield in both my hands.
Yep.
Would that transfer here? Like, would I still be, since I've experience doing like the modifications or modified movements, would you allow that here, or is that still like a you're kind of stuck here?
I would allow it because if you were holding weapons, you'd do some form of motion.
I would do
but
like
your feet are mostly clear, so you can kind of kick a foot in a pattern and do what you need to at least assist in the cast.
Okay. Then
What a nice DM.
It's gonna be fun. I can squish them other ways. I mean, what?
it's true.
There's only 9
then
tentacles.
Is this what I get for telling you to put that shirt on today?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go for gold here. Then using that, I'm going to spawn
Druidic river
my
dance.
what?
Penguin Witch Doctor called it Druidic River Dance.
Yes.
Your hands.
And as my heels are clicking together,
There's no place like home.
there's 8 wolves. We're gonna bring that in. Are gonna spawn on the shore. Wait, actually, he is away from the shore, isn't he?
There's one tentacle.
Okay.
There's one tentacle smashed down on the backside of the shore. There's another. It was up in the air that just previously held Volari. And then there's you being held in front of its base.
What's the space on the head of the Kraken?
There's not really a flat spot. It's a nice rounded bulbous head. And you could spawn the wolves on there if you want, and we can see if they balance.
No, I guess
8 penguins. I mean, what has the spell work here?
we'll put them close to the tentacle, the one that's on the ground.
In the back, right?
Hoping that they can do something there. And I will roll their initiative.
All right.
Army of beavers. I mean,
Oh, that's awesome.
I believe it's an.
Dolphins.
Let me double check. I think that's an 8. Yes.
All right. Let me add some wolves in here.
I was ready for you to like transform into, a walrus or something.
Well, I was thinking about it.
Ooh, and
That
then
was-
use the tusks.
And you said it was 8.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I'm gonna try and distract him before. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. No, I'm thinking transforming into something to try and slip out would be good.
Mm-hmm.
And it's 8
But-
wolves at 11 HP, correct?
I'm just going with the stock.
All right. So that means a total of the pod is 88.
Correct.
All right. Okay, so these
And I'm
wolves
note to keep
appear.
track of-
I've got a wolf with 88 hit points on it right here,
Okay. Right.
and it is
I
now
think-
dances with wolves,
Right.
according to chat.
Well played.
This means he has to multi-class in Bard next time he gets to take a feat.
His next level, he can take in Bard.
Dancing.
Okay.
Is that it, or do
I
they
mean,
get
that's-
attack?
I've cast them.
Yep. And they're all beginning to appear near that back tentacle. So, current situation, if you're standing at the front of, or if you're standing at the bench facing the Kraken, over your back right shoulder has the tentacle up in the air that had Valari. Over your back left shoulder would have the 8 wolves now appearing around the tentacle on the edge of the shore. To the front, you still have Rumiel being held up in front of the Kraken head. Most of the party is in the front. Valari and Puppy Astro are coming back towards the bench at the moment. All right. That does leave us now with the Kraken's turn.
Dang it. Oh, well, it's a good shot.
It was a good shot. He is going to actually roar in your face, Rumiel.
Yeah.
And he's going to throw you. And he's going to throw you up and over the main part of the island and into the water on the backside. So he's gotten you about 10 feet into the water. And you
Roll for belly flop.
Roll for belly flop. I'm gonna. You land it. You drop and splash right into the water and are able to come up. And you are now on essentially the backside of all of this happening.
How far away am I from my wolves?
From your wolves, you're about 20, 25 feet at most.
Okay.
Now that you're at the back, you see them up to your left, and there's one tentacle up to your right. But you get the sinking feeling as you splash that you've only seen 3 of the multiple tentacles you know these things to have.
Right.
And also with that, it does attempt to bite out at Garth, who is hopping into the water as it sees the approach.
Wait, it's biting, which means it's now, like, coming close to shore.
It's coming close to shore, so it's coming up
But
a little
Garth
closer
is
to the edge of the water, but not like right up against it.
But
So
it'll also jumping.
It'll still be about 10 feet out as Garth is jumping out. It's trying to just kind of bite down.
Oh, catch him. Gotcha.
And it does, I think, miss. It got a 14.
That does miss.
So it chomps out, and it clangs right on top of the helmet
Garth almost jumped into the
as
mouth of a
you were almost engulfed by the Kraken.
But I could have breathed.
You could have breathed in the nice bile of the Kraken's
as it was
stomach.
chewing you up.
And that then takes us to the now conjured wolf pack.
Well, in that case, I'm gonna thank Real POTUS and Shadow Reels. Our wolf pack is there, all 8 of them. I thought they were about to get wrecked, but they're gonna crit.
8
He has a nat
times?
20.
Oh, it's a crit of a nat 20
On 8 wolves.
on 8 wolves.
Yes. So, right off the bat, that is going to be 8 times 8 is
Your
64.
wolves are biting, correct?
Yes, that is their only attack.
So they get a 2d4 plus 2.
Correct.
So
And
64.
you get a chance to knock it prone.
I was gonna say, do we want to?
So it's 64 plus
And a
16. So
chance
he's
to knock
looking at
it
80.
prone.
Yeah.
Right now it cannot be prone.
I was gonna say, I don't know that that's possible.
So your base damage is 80 points right now, so you know.
Yes. Yeah. So
Your
we'll
base
do
damage is
80.
80 points. So roll 2d4, add 2 to that, and then we'll multiply that by 8.
4. I'll take average.
4 and
4
then
plus 2 is 6.
6 times-
Times 8 is 48.
So you do 128 points of damage as all of these wolves just launch at the same time in unison and latch on and shred this tentacle up.
Welcome to the 120 point damage club.
Hey, pleasure to be here. It's kind of lonely, but it's nice to know there's more of us.
It's exclusive. It's not lonely. It's exclusive.
The Kraken lets out a giant scream as one tentacle just gets shredded to bits.
That's what I was thinking. Ooh.
Ew.
Lots of sushi for the dogs.
Calamari, not sushi.
Calamari.
I take like a
Sushimari.
slice of the baguette and just.
Oh, okay. You guys need to stop.
Valari, it is your turn.
I feel like I don't really want to kill it because, like I said before, I was like, it hasn't been fed in some time. I think it's just really hungry. So, second time's the charm. I'm gonna. So I imagine the collar is laying where it fell.
Yeah, you have to make a jump to get to the tentacle now because it is still lifted in the air a little bit. Not as far. Like you'll have to make a jump on difficult terrain to see if you can get around it.
Easy.
Oh, great.
So I'm going to run to the collar, grab it,
Okay.
cast Misty Step onto like the tentacle.
Okay.
So I like land like laying on it,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna put the belt on it.
Okay. I need you to make a sleight of hand as you run up to grab this collar in the mud.
That's a 12. Oh jeez. Okay. It's a 23.
You scoop up the belt. No, it's a 17, and then she has a
Plus 5 on sleight of hand.
Nice.
So it's a 22. But still, you make it. You grab,
Yeah, 22.
you scoop
Sorry.
up the belt, and it's muddy, and you look up over your shoulder, and you feel yourself kind of transport in a swirl of smoke up onto this tentacle. And as you land on it, I need you to make a dexterity check to ensure that you don't slip off.
Are you serious?
Uh-oh.
You have a reroll or anything?
I don't have anything because nobody.
Do you have sorcery points?
Do I have what?
Sorcery
I
points.
do, but which my wild magic hasn't even actually searched that, and it probably should have.
And we're searching it right now. Thank you. I'll need you to roll on your wild magic.
1 second.
Yep.
Your wild
I
magic.
have to
makes
read through all the
extra
things I'm
stick-
allowed to do. I can gain advantage. Can I use that now on my Tides of Chaos?
Yeah, then you're triggering 2 rolls
It's
on
all
your
I can
table
do.
then.
So I'm gonna
It's
use.
fine. I think I'm far enough away.
You're far enough away. All right.
Ah, shit.
What is the total for dexterity?
12.
You
Well,
do-
because I only get to add this, right?
Yeah, you do slip and fall, but you grab on and you're able to get the belt around and you're hanging from it. You're not able to clasp it. But you know that you can clasp it
Wait,
together. What?
Can I
Oh no. Oh no.
use my sorcery points to make my Misty Step my bonus action? And I'm going to cast Mage Hand.
What?
What? No.
Yeah.
What?
Misty Step's already a bonus action.
Oh, well then
Yeah.
I don't need to spend a point. And I can just cast Mage Hand
Okay.
and use that to help buckle it.
Uh-oh. We lost
Hang
some.
on.
We lost a Curiously
Hang
video.
on.
I have Kearsley.
We do not.
Oh no,
I can
That's
hear
weird.
you.
Chat, did you guys lose?
Oh yeah.
Lo-
We.
Oh, and we're back.
He's coming back, kind
Wait.
of. On our side, it'll be just a second. There he
Let me
is.
There
plug
you
in
are.
my hard line.
Okay.
I'm gonna plug in my hard line.
All right.
Take your time.
We will hold for this because you're able to help complete the clasp.
Oh gosh. I want to know. Okay, just break this down for me. What I know in game what just happened, but like, what did you spent sorcery points to gain advantage, and then
So-
sorcery points again?
So I have a
How
lot
did
of things.
how did this happen?
Did you
happened?
double up on sorcery point use?
No, because I actually didn't
Tides
even
of
have
chaos.
to. Okay, so with my sorcery points, I can use my meta magic to quicken the spell, which means if it has a time of an action, I can cast it as a bonus action.
Right.
Misty Step is a bonus action, so I didn't have to cast it as a bonus action. So I was able to use my Mage Hand cantrip as my action.
Okay.
Now,
I was gonna say,
with
okay,
my
so there's your spell cantrip. Okay.
now I have a thing called Tides of Chaos, which is part of my wild magic, which requires
Okay.
me to roll against my wild magic table, the surge
Okay,
table,
so there's your double surge. Got it.
in order to gain advantage on any attack, ability check, saving throw.
Gotcha.
And I only get that once per long rest, but
Okay.
I can roll against my wild magic table to get my Tides of Chaos back if I need to.
Yeah, so in all of that, essentially it broke down to movement, interact with object, bonus action, a slip, which allowed her to get a wrap, and then she used
Cast my
her action instead of wrapping.
Right.
She used her action to now take this mage hand, and as she's dangling from the mage hand, completes
Just goes
the
bloop.
buckle.
Completes the
Yeah.
buckle. So now the color of imbued reducing
Yep.
Yes.
is on the tentacle of the Kraken.
This kraken is now starting to shrink to half size, but you feel
Oh, huge.
an incredible surge come through your entire
Yeah.
body, and you must roll twice
Okay.
on that wonderful, wonderful wild magic table that I'm pulling up.
I feel like I rolled this number the other night.
I don't know if that's good or bad.
I don't know either. Well, I don't think anything. Okay, so
2 seconds. Files is breaking on it. Here it goes. Come on, load. Load this time. There it is. Alright, your first roll?
52.
52. You feel the same tingle you had before, but it's like behind your eyes. And you feel this tingle as if you now have extra sight into things that might not be seen.
Right.
Oh.
Okay, so do I see anything?
You don't see anything invisible.
7 more
in your
krakens.
shape. 7 more invisible krakens.
Okay.
Wait, your second one?
56.
56. You've
Those
rolled
are
this
very
one
close.
before.
Yeah.
Your hair begins to fall out.
Damn it.
You get it back the next
I
day.
hate these ones. Well, it's fine. I'm wearing my hood anyways, so I always wear my hood.
This kraken is starting to shrink down to half its size, which is still considerably large. It is now like a giant octopus in front of you instead of a man-eating kraken.
I was like, so I'm gonna yell, "Don't kill it!" And that's my turn. Well, wait, Astro has to go now.
It is Astro's turn, and he kind of skitters back as you drop, and he looks up as this thing is shrinking in front of him, and he hears the wolves chomping and gnawing, and he kind of like backs up, nervous of the wolves going to
Can't blame
town,
him.
and
Poor puppy.
he's just kind of shaking, looking around, soaked wet, and he just sits his little butt down and watches you.
Oh, poor puppy.
Also, sorry, chat. Alex's video should go back to normal size.
They're just getting that now.
No.
no,
they-
his picture is tiny in his
Yeah.
box.
It
It's
happens.
like
Oh.
That's
It's
weird.
alright. It's a video quality thing that I haven't figured out in OBS. So there we go.
your face is still like this big in the corner. It's cute.
It'll adjust. Don't worry about it. If not, we have Tiny Alex for the rest of. Wait, did you put the belt? Did you put the belt on him? So
What's this weird belt around me? I don't know.
this kraken has shrunk and is now Ari's turn.
Okay, I'm going to tell you what I would like to do, but I don't know how to make it happen.
He is sitting. Sorry. Somebody
Oh,
pointed
that's-
out that where your picture is in the stream with the background, Alex, you're literally like on top of the mountain. So you're just like little at the top of this mountain while we're all like lower. Sorry.
Excellent.
Okay, so I can either take this one of two ways. I don't want to hurt the Kraken. My like boring action would be to ready a shot in case it goes to attack Garth.
Okay.
But what I would like to do is I just remembered that I have a frying pan that can make food, but I just need fire. So
Call that out.
Call it out.
Somebody can do that.
A
Okay.
lot of people can do that.
cool.
I've
Then-
heard how it's done.
I'm going to instead grab my frying pan and yell out, I need some fire! And maybe a mage hand! And that's what I'm gonna do.
All right. You're standing near the center of the island screaming about fire holding a frying pan.
Mhm.
Perfect. Garth, you splash into the water and you see this kraken, giant in size, start to shrink up. And you notice that it has tentacles wrapped around this island, and they all start shrinking back towards itself as it doesn't have the length to keep its tentacles around the island anymore.
Now, so was I was midair at the start of my turn, right?
Yes.
I guess I would have been jumping towards
I mean,
it.
you're splashing into the water at this point.
Okay. So I see all of these tentacles. I'm like, can I breathe okay? I'm gonna like take a test breath.
You take a test breath. It is perfectly clean air. You two notice the bubble in front, and that you see bubbles kind of in a pattern going in and out of this like space of air.
And so I only see the one kraken and all its tentacles.
Yep.
I am going to start a perception check on if I see a gem on its person.
There is no person, but yes, you may.
I was gonna say,
on
odd
its
choice
creature.
of words.
Well,
Yes.
On
Yes.
its
Yes.
body.
attached to it somewhere. Oh no, lucky. Use enough feet.
And while he looks up that number, POTUS says, "This is perfect. I've been wanting to watch more cooking streams."
Nice.
Okay. I, with perception, have an 18.
18. You do notice as you go underwater in a misshapen smaller tentacle, there seems to be a purple glint stuck into it.
I want to go toward that.
All right. You are able to swim at half of your movement speed. This thing is nice, big, and heavy on you, but you're able to move towards it. You get within about 8 feet or so, and you notice that this appears to be exactly the piece you're looking for on this tentacle that is now shrinking a bit more.
Mage hand.
You cast Mage Hand, and it flutters through the water and grabs on. It appears to need a little more force than 10 pounds to pull out. But you do
Second
see it
mage-
kind of wiggle. Second
Can you
Mage
have
Hand.
multiple mage hands?
No.
Yeah,
you
second
cannot.
hand.
I think that's okay.
You can have a second Mage Hand if an item allows you to, but you can't cast two at the same time. Darn.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, I know what I'm doing.
I
Wait.
gave that circlet to a Dragonborn that came into one
Yeah.
of our summer shows.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's my turn, yes?
Yes, that would be your turn.
Okay. Really quick, just so I know for my next turn, would you consider this thing unattended? Because is it really attending to it?
It's
It's a tentacle-king. No, that didn't work.
penciling to it.
A tentacling.
I feel like it's in its hand.
I feel like it's attached.
Not
Like
in
it's
the
not.
can.
It's like
yeah,
there.
I feel like it's embedded.
But
yeah.
like, are the tentacles like all of their like sensing, feeling things all over their arms?
Yeah, it would sense that you're attempting to pull this thing out right now.
Okay.
So it's aware of action that is being occurred, but I don't think it's like looking directly at it or grabbing it. We can try what you're thinking.
It's for my next turn. I just
Yeah,
needed
if we
to
get
know
around
if it
to it.
was attended or unattended.
If we get around to it, if you're not eaten by the still bigger than you Kraken.
Perfect. Yep, we'll
Perfect.
get there. We'll get there. It's
Sweet.
fine.
Lord Drackland.
Okay. I'm very confused because people have a sense to not kill this thing, yet it's trying to eat us. So. I will, sure, why not? I'm going to use my Drow Magic racial trait to cast darkness, like kind of like above the water, but casting it so that it covers like the whole sphere of this thing's like upper body and face, just so it is like just in the middle of darkness, doesn't really know what's going on.
Okay.
I obviously don't know what Garth is doing or anything that's happening down there, but I'm kind of just wanting to delay what we're doing because I don't know if we're attacking this thing or not anymore. So that's a concentration, so I do have to drop my hex.
Okay.
And then that will last for 10 minutes. It's a 15-foot radius sphere, so
Okay.
15 foot, 15 foot. So I definitely don't want it to be like covering the whole thing in the water because I know Garth went down there, so it's more like covering everything above
Sitting
water.
above it, yeah.
In that space. It doesn't. I can't cast it on the creature.
So as you cast it like just above the creature's head, it does encompass the creature, and you hear a bit of a screech, and you see a little flail of a couple tentacles come out of the water as if it believes it's just gone blind. And you see a little bit of a splash and a froth of this happening. POTUS, thank you for hopping in. Unattended might be for E, but
I think it still works.
It's
makes
probably
sense.
going to be very close. It's definitely somewhat of the rule set. We can take a look at that here in a second. Rumiel.
When you cast Fog Cloud, everyone likes it. I see how this goes.
I mean, I don't know that I want to
No, it's
feed the monsters
No.
now.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
And we gave him a lot of hard.
Yeah.
you.
And I thought it worked.
loved it. I
but
loved
that's
it.
fine.
And leaned into it.
So it threw me. You said, I'm 20. How far am I from shore?
You're about 10 feet from the edge of shore.
Okay.
So it'll take most of
okay,
your
so
action to swim there.
Right. Is swim half speed?
I believe it is,
That's what
unless
you
you have a swim speed.
Well, you told Garth that was half.
It's
Right.
half speed definitely for
Because he
Garth because
had
he's wearing the heavy item.
Right, but I feel like that might be a rule, and I don't know that one because I haven't.
I'll look it up real quick.
It seems
Count that.
logical.
It seems
Right.
logical.
I know that is. Maybe it's on the bottom of my page.
Ooh, transform into an otter.
At half speed.
But if you're an
Yeah, it is
otter,
here.
then
Fairly certain it is.
That would take an action.
yeah, but then otter
Swim.
and the creature's
half
like,
speed.
oh look, an otter.
So
Oh,
I
it's
can,
so
be
cute.
angry at
It
an
says
otter.
It may
if I
involve a
can make it
strength check
to
and fix it.
shore, how far away is Ari?
And by the bench.
Yeah, Ari's a good like 35, 40 feet in. It is still raining hard, so it is difficult terrain. So
Okay.
unless you can transform into something different, or if you want to like levitate and fly, or
Well, I can't do flying yet. So here's what we're gonna try. What could possibly go wrong?
everything. I'm excited.
Everything.
I'm super excited.
Fireball. Oh, cooking
So I'm going to swim towards the shore. I'll have 5 feet of movement once I get. Or would you consider that an action to get out?
Because it is a sheer drop off, I would consider it a bit of work. So yes, it would be more of an action to get out than like a interact.
If you make fire, I can come to you.
Cast iron is made of iron.
I'm going to. Well, then maybe I can cast it. What is it? I don't think I could do that while swimming. Somatic elements while swimming. I don't think that's gonna.
If you can
Red
put
water.
one hand out.
Okay. So we're gonna go to the edge of the water. I'm gonna produce flame and throw it at the pan.
All right.
What could go wrong?
I'm gonna need you to
What do you?
I'm gonna need you to roll an attack on the pan.
Okay. Come on. Oh. That is a 24.
Oh yeah, you hit that pan.
Woo!
You hit that pan. And just so anyone who is listening, watching, and players on stream, if you want to attack non-animate objects, they do have armor classes, and they're roughly estimated by the DM, but I believe the DM guide and maybe the player's guide give you some of them. Like rope is like a 5.
Yeah.
So yeah.
We have
Super
a Lord
simple.
of the Rings quote from Doobly Doo. Looks like meat is on the menu tonight, boys.
So the pan catches just underneath and lights up nicely. It does make a breakfast that smells exactly like Ari had grown up, as she is the one holding the pan. So something she grew up with. Ari, what do you? Yep, I need you to roll attack. Nice chat. Nice. Ari, you smell some meats, and I think a hash brown in there.
That is exactly what I smell.
All right.
Too
and
hungry for this conversation,
It is now
you guys.
a
haven't had
pan
dinner
of
yet.
meat and hash browns.
Fantastic. Just for
Wow.
people who are hearing this and not reading, I think Death Stories needs to be read. I'm going to need you to roll an attack on the pan, said every GM ever to Captain Hook.
But there it is. There it is. And our next season will be set in Neverland, apparently.
I love that so much.
You don't even know. Like, don't joke about that. Like, you cannot.
Well, when we end this storyline, we can always talk about what our next season looks like.
Teak would have a role in the game.
Yep. POTUS is saying that right there too. Oh no. Okay. Chat might be voting. We're doing a pan-inspired season next.
We
but
do have summer coming up.
It is the Kraken's turn,
Yes, Kraken.
who is now
Kraken,
much
like-
smaller.
Kraken.
And
Does he smell the
he-
food?
oh,
Because he could smell.
that story, and it should have worked. That carrot should have given you a second carrot from Stream Elements. Sorry, but Stream
Anyways.
Elements, come on.
This is why we don't let the DM see the chat.
I know.
I just saw the bots that should have been going off.
Focus.
Poor robots. This Kraken is now thinking it's blind, so it sinks into the water, and it sees.
Sorry, Garth.
It sees Garth kind of coming at the tentacle, and it pulls the tentacle back, and it roars at Garth, and it's going to attack. Now
Underwater?
you can see bubbles, and you hear a screeching
just hear,
echo. Basically,
I will say,
um,
to his credit, does Garth have an additional AC because of the helmet that he's wearing? Because let's
We
be
don't
honest, that is a metal
know.
helmet.
half.
Get
Just
one
kidding.
extra
To
half?
the half a point.
No,
Hey,
you
if
get-
he
That's
rolls a
equivalent to a
15,
whole
I'll take that
point.
half.
But it rounds down though.
Yeah.
Oh.
I would say, would you,
Haha, DM jokes. I get to give you half an AC, and it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter because I rolled a 1.
No, let's just see here. The Kraken attempts to bite at Garth for a 13.
No!
It bites at you and kind of
that's the second
clangs
time.
off
I
of
did
the
that.
front, but a tentacle comes sweeping in at you. And let's see here at disadvantage. Yep, a tentacle comes sweeping in at you and swipes under your feet and misses. And then a final tentacle comes sweeping in at you
Is that
And
from the darkness? Just to clarify, you were saying at disadvantage.
at
Is that
disadvantage because it is half size. So I'm rolling him at
okay,
disadvantage.
okay, that's
right
where that's
now.
coming from. Gotcha.
You're
Uh,
welcome.
Because he is far
Oh,
smaller than he's
good
used
call.
to.
Good call.
I believe the rule does reduce the hit by
Yeah.
2 or 4 or something, but he's far
Sure.
smaller, and it's not just like
Oh yeah.
a 1 foot to a half foot. It's a massive change for this guy. So he's at
Right.
disadvantage.
I know. I totally agree with the ruling. I was just curious where it was coming from.
Yes, I totally agree with the ruling.
This final attack, the tentacle does grasp onto you because it is a 22.
Oh yeah, just made it.
Just made it barely. And his damage doesn't get any bonus. And you take 5 points of damage. And you are grappled underwater at the moment. Fortunately, the mask is holding tight to you.
Yes.
When that happened, did I notice that? I mean, I imagine we can hear the Kraken submerge back into the water.
Yeah, you heard the Kraken submerge into the water, and there's tons of splashing and bubbling and gurgling.
The tentacles goes by. That's my belt.
I think I'd probably want to drop my concentration then,
All right. So concentration is dropped.
realizing that it was useless.
The darkness disappears. It's the wolves' turn. They're in the back, and all of the tentacles have sunken
Everything's having nothing. I think, and their base, like action, unless commanded otherwise, is just to defend.
So the wolves.
So they're just gonna.
The wolves huddle up with
Mhm.
all of their hindquarters together, and they're all facing out in a circle and all growling, not sure where this thing has gone, and they kind of all pace a bit and work together just to guard the space that they're in.
Okay.
Valari,
So.
you have dropped to the ground,
Yep.
and you're standing there, and you saw the tentacle sink back into the water.
So if I'm remembering correctly,
Mm-hmm.
we had 2 boxes of pastries.
Mm-hmm.
We ate something out of the one,
There's one-
and they threw that one into the
threw the-
mouth. But there should be another box.
There's one
I
soaked
also am
pastry
standing
left.
with a frying pan full of food.
Food.
And no way to get it to the monster yet.
Right. But there was
Yeah.
a box, right?
So Garth Mage handed the full box into the mouth.
but there should
Yeah.
be
There
some
should
left.
be there should be one full
crumbs.
soaked pastry.
I
don't know
how
well, I guess what I'm just gonna do is, because I have rations in my pack,
Okay.
I'm just gonna
Oh.
start grabbing food from my bag and throwing it into the water. Since I can't attack it, I want to just distract it.
All right.
So I'm just gonna start throwing food, and according to my list, I had my standard 10 days plus an additional 4 rations.
Okay.
So I can throw as much of that as whatever.
You mark down how much you care to throw, and let me know how much food goes out.
I
Well-
think the additional 4 was given to us from the house, and we would have used it on our travels to town.
Correct.
So you have 10.
So you're at 10
You have 10.
total in your pouch. or your
Okay.
bag.
Cool.
Well, I guess I'll start. I guess it would be logical that I would only get through about half of it, as I'm just like
Yeah,
throwing
probably
stuff out.
probably 3 or 4 is what you're able to.
So I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, we'll say like
That's fair.
okay.
All right. So you throw a bunch of food out into the water.
So
and-
since he's smaller, that'll make more of a difference, I would think.
He's
We
like,
would
ooh,
hope,
giant
right?
rations.
Yeah.
Astro sees you throwing food out there, and he lets out a little whine, and he watches you, and then he rushes back, and he grabs the one box with the donut in it, and he pulls on it and slides it towards you, and it's mud covered, and there's a puddle of a donut in the bottom as it
Ow.
slides up against your foot, and he's just like looking around like, I don't know what to do.
What a good doggo.
Back to Ari.
So it's underwater now.
It's underwater. You just saw
It
some
is.
thrashing and bubbles and screams. You know Garth is under there as well.
Okay. Yeah, I don't want to throw the pan, but at this point, I can't get it. So I'm just gonna empty the contents of the pan into the water as far as I can get them.
All right. They land out in the water just shy of where you think you saw its head go down, and they kind of get sucked under in the bubbles. And coming to Garth's turn, You do see hash browns and some like cooked sausage floating down around you as this thing's got you grappled underwater.
Okay. Well,
I have an argument though. The hash browns would probably mostly float.
They got sucked underwater a little bit. They're kind of in the water at the moment.
I'll say if they get
Churning.
soggy, then they'll
Churning.
drop.
So did we determine that the gem? Well, where's the gem now? Where'd that tentacle go?
It kind of tucked back behind as it saw you attacking and going for it.
Are my arms pinned?
You're
grappled.
grappled. Your arms are wrapped up against you. Your feet are barely hanging out from under this thing.
Great. Then I will do. I'm gonna do. No, I'm not gonna do that. Darn, didn't prep it.
Huh.
Yeah, don't you hate that?
Yeah, I didn't prep Misty Step.
What's in your circlet?
Expeditious retreat ain't gonna help me.
Oh.
In fact, no somatic spells are really gonna help me. Anything just a verbal spell? No. Verbal material? No, that's not gonna help me.
Well, unless you don't. Oh.
Do you have a component pouch?
Well, I got a spellcasting focus.
Yeah, usually you have to have control on that.
Yeah.
It's in my hand like this.
What is your focus again?
My staff.
Did you dive in with your staff?
I guess I probably would have.
Probably.
I probably would have taken off my satchel and the thing there. So I'm just like, you
Yeah.
were supposed to see me. I got nothing.
I'm trying to break the grapple.
Yeah, I guess I'll just try and break the grapple with a -1
Strength check.
Should I just use the important one?
strength. I mean, I don't think that'll do it. Even my highest portent, I don't think would do it. So let me just double check that one. Darn.
Did you use your nat 20?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, shut up, Lindsay.
Sorry, I was just curious if that's what he used to grapple you.
Gosh,
No,
Lindsay!
it would have done even more damage.
The nat 20 is me going in the mouth now.
Oh man.
Oh, my dice rolled better than my portent.
Hey, that's good.
That's a positive.
Now he's
There you go.
16 to break the grapple.
You break the grapple.
What?
Good job,
Yeah,
little
baby.
one.
Strong like hell.
Oh,
Okay, so that was my action.
Yep.
Now my
Run away.
well, that would be swimming at half speed. So double checking the bonus actions. That one I didn't prepare. That one.
Expeditiously retreat.
Would Expeditious Retreat give you a boost?
Oh, I guess I would be able to take the dash, so I would be able to swim faster. So my mind screams to the circlet, now! And I just start.
You're able to swim up and get to the edge of the shore.
Okay,
On the island, not on the outside.
right, yes. Okay. Wait, so I'm on the shore?
You're at the edge. You have to use
Okay.
an action to pull yourself up or have someone lift you out of the water because of the heavy contraption on your head.
Great. I'm gonna just, yeah, I guess I'll just be there then.
I'm
Lord-
there. Yeah.
Lord Drackland, you do see the metal contraption float up out of the water, and you think you see a face in it. And you hear some screaming, definitely.
how far am I away from that?
You hear some screaming,
You're
why is
probably
it
about-
underwater?
You're probably about 10 feet back from the shore as you were firing some shots and sliding towards the water a little bit. It is still downpouring on you all.
Mm-hmm. Do I have a control weather spell? No, I don't.
I still have no idea what we're doing.
I don't know if any of us really do.
I know I feel bad that I used the darkness and the creature went into the water, and then I see Garth coming out of the water. It doesn't take much to piece that together. Okay, let's see. I guess I will run over and then pull Garth out of the water
All right.
and then carry him back onto the land as much as I can.
You're able to get him about 5 or 6 feet in onto the land, like get him out of the water and away from the edge a little bit.
Okay, would that be my action to do that?
Yeah, your action would be to lift and pull because it's
Pull him
not a
out.
small thing. Like a interactive object would be grabbing a book or a candelabra or something.
Could I I guess, so maybe I can't, but is there any way to get the suit off of him as I'm doing that? That's kind of my intention as I'm pulling him, is like to yank the suit off.
I will
but maybe not.
allow you to roll a sleight of hand to see if you're able to get a hand in there as you're pulling back. Otherwise, you just continue to pull back and you're not able to get a strap.
Get him out. Okay. That's a 10.
You're able to fumble with the straps, but not able to unhinge any of them at all.
Okay, cool. And then I think that's it, but let me just double check. Yeah, I'll be done.
Rumil, it is your turn, sir.
I think I will pull myself up onto shore and then stumble towards the group.
Okay. You're able to pull yourself up onto shore, make it about 15 feet in, so you're a little bit away from Valari and the
Astro.
doggo. Yep, and the bench is up towards the front of you. The rest of the group is on the other side of the bench, essentially. Perfect. It is the Kraken's turn. I'm going to use a nat 20 here. Bye, guys!
You're out of the water now, and he's smaller.
A tentacle comes lashing out of the water, and the Kraken's face comes out. You see this time the Kraken kind of has to pull itself up on land almost a little bit.
Did it eat any of the food on its way?
You see a bit of hash brown kind of dripping off of its head. It didn't eat any of the food. It is looking for, it seems to be more alive meat at this point. It does hit Garth. Ooh, you lucked out on the roll here. It hits you for 10 points of damage. It grapples you. Man, those 2d6s both rolled 1s.
What?
Yep.
Reverse halfling luck, man.
Snake eyes.
Love it.
Right there. So you did well on that one, and that 20 didn't do as hot, but you are grappled, and it grabs you tight at this point, and it is the wolves' turn, which they haven't been given any action, so they still kind of pace about the back. They move a little bit towards Rumil as if they are to protect him, but not very far. Valari, it is your turn. You hear this commotion happening. You hear some screaming as a tentacle latches down on Garth.
Is it the jewel tentacle?
No, the jeweled tentacle is a little stubby tentacle.
It's his Nemo fin.
Would I have seen that at any point?
You would have heard a lot of splashing and screaming.
No, I
so-
mean the jewel and the tentacle.
No. So you're not aware of the jeweled tentacle yet.
Get it out of the water.
It's how far out of the water is it?
It's come up on the edge just a little bit. So it's not like fully out of the water. You see its head and a few of the tentacles kind of reaching up on the land as it's trying to get up onto the edge of the land, attacking Garth.
Okay, so it's trying to get up onto the land.
Yep.
I'm gonna cast Ray of Sickness.
What level is that?
You don't have to accept it.
It's 1, but I'm trying to decide. Because I don't want to kill it. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna do it at level 3, but I don't want to kill it.
Non-lethal.
Non-lethal only applies to melee damage.
Okay. Well.
But
Non-lethal.
I mean, you can poison people to death. I'm just saying.
It pukes its guts out, literally.
Yeah, but I've also been poisoned and lived, so.
I know, but I'm just saying.
All
I
right.
don't want to kill it.
Roll to hit.
That's a 19.
It hits. I need you to both roll your damage and your wild magic table.
Again?
Yeah. Again. The bold, invisible seeing Valari.
2. Do I see anything? Okay. So 2d8 plus 1d8 plus spell levels. It's normally 1, so plus 2, so I'm rolling 4d8s.
There it is. 4d8 of damage. Hear those beautiful metal dice roll.
And then you'll have to save. Okay, so I've got 6. So that's 14, 21.
21.
Ooh.
I believe so.
Woo!
Well played.
8, 16. 6, 22. I'm
All
having
right.
trouble today.
22. And it has to save what? Constitution?
Well, it's against. I don't know. Yes, Constitution.
It gets a 16.
It gets a 16.
Yep.
That does save.
Mhm.
So you're not poisoned as well.
Okay. He looks a little green along the gills there.
Literally.
Literally. Astro sees this and he launches forward and teleports and goes to latch onto this thing.
Can I use my vocal as he's doing that on my turn since we share a turn?
Sure, you want to yell something out?
As I pull him out of the water.
All right. Astro uses his re-roll. Thank you for that. He does land a hit on this Kraken, and as he hears you shout out, Astro latches in to like the upper face right next to the eye and pulls down, and you see that he bites on, but he doesn't like try to shred or tear. Astro does do damage, non-lethal as a melee attack, and
I'll say, yeah.
incapacitates the Kraken, and the Kraken is now essentially dead. It's incapacitated. The fight is over. He was at 1 HP before Astro's turn. If he would have,
So are we still in turn order? Or?
no, you're done.
Okay.
The battle is over. Astro would have, or if you would have rolled any higher, you would have killed it. Astro laid it flat.
So I'll run up and I'll help him like pull it out of the water.
I'm just
Also
gonna
helping.
yell, retrieve, and the wolves can pull it out.
You yell retrieve, and so
Well-
you've got 8 wolves, 2 people, and a dog pulling this thing out of the water. It's still hundreds of pounds,
I was gonna say,
tentacles
I
and
think it would
all.
take 8 wolves, yeah.
It can.
I'm gonna go specifically to Garth to help
Wait.
grapple.
Wait.
He's
It doesn't need to.
The Kraken is.
I'll pull the
Tough,
suit
man.
off of him.
No, we need that. Unless someone else wants to. Find the tiny. There's a little tentacle. A little stubby one.
It's,
so we find the small tentacle.
yeah, it's
and
the one that Astro was pulling up on, as the other wolves had pulled
Perfect.
the bigger tentacles.
So I'm gonna pull out my knife and I'll
Okay.
like sort of try and get the gem out.
And pry
If
it
I have
out?
to cut a little or pry it out or.
All right. You're able to pull this purple gem out of the Kraken with a little bit of blood, but not too much damage. And it is the gem that does fit the amulet. And it is able to sock it right in.
Found it.
So should we just throw him back and keep him small so he can't do us much harm?
No, I want that belt.
I
We can buy another collar.
I want that one.
You want the one I bought for Astro. We can buy you another blue one. It's not a big deal.
No.
All right, so
I mean,
It
we can
does
push
seem
it back in
knocked
the water
out.
first.
It does seem knocked out. If we take the belt off, it seems like it will be okay.
Yeah, but if you take the belt off, it's gonna get massive.
Yeah.
Are you gonna push it back in the water?
Push it all except that tentacle and then undo.
Yes.
I feel like it can probably push itself back in if it's big.
But if it's incapacitated,
But if it grows
It's
and knocks
gonna
over the bench or makes
Yeah.
it into the portal, that would be bad.
yeah.
Or maybe just suffocates because it can't breathe air.
Exactly. There's so many things that could go wrong. I think we should
Let's
keep it
leave it on
small
the
so
island,
can't just...
outside of the water.
I don't want to kill it.
I didn't want it to die.
I was kidding.
It
Oh.
won't.
So I think we leave the belt on and just sew it back in, and then he's
I
not as
think that-
big and.
It won't hurt people like it could.
I'll walk over and I'm going to take the belt off.
Oh my gosh! Why?
as you take the belt off, the thing starts growing in front of you. Tentacles kind of flop back into the water. You all get shoved across the island as tentacles grow back out at you. You're each kind of pushed to the edges on the far sides, and the creature slides into the water.
I feel like it would have been safer for everyone if we had just left it smaller.
Too
I
late.
could buy
Safe is-
another collar. It's not
Safe.
a big.
Isn't the point. Now, you might want to get out through the portal, and I'm going to start calling some healing. Because being a druid, I clearly don't want this thing to die. So as it's going into the water, I'm actually going to start healing it.
Heck no. I run to the bench.
So I'm like, y'all better go.
So
Yeah, I think-
Better
I'll
get through the portal.
go grab the portal and go through it.
I run over to Rumiel and I grab the belt. I'm like, valiant effort, good sir. Put it on. Mage hand.
Does he come near me,
He who?
Garth? No, not yet. Not yet. Never mind. Not yet. I jumped through the portal.
Um,
I don't go near Valari for the rest of the episode.
um,
I don't know if he'll have a choice.
The Astro does hop in after you. The rain slows to a stop, and the sun starts to come out, and you're all able to make it back through with healing on this creature as it goes back
As
into
I'm
the water.
climbing through the portal, I'm just going to start. Yeah. I use a few of the summer courts
All right.
to get it kick-started.
Yep.
Yeah.
Uh,
Hey, Lord Draklin, did you bring the thing?
The apparatus.
I would have pulled it off. If I pulled you off you, I would have kept it, yeah.
It kind of picked up camp and then headed.
Thank you.
I just threw it in!
and down to the depths.
No, I haven't.
All right.
One.
You are all found in the park now in town, soaking wet, and it seems like it didn't even rain in town here.
Prestidigitation. I'm dry.
I prestidigitate him wet again.
Dry.
Prestidigitate him wet. Then I grab my mage hand and go over and take the collar off his waist.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
You've
I
got
don't
to
know if you can technically do that.
You've got to roll against him, and he's got to roll against you.
I'm willing to do that. I'm mad.
Whoa.
What
You
did
need-
I do?
He actually did nothing.
What
just
did I
FYI.
specifically do?
I don't know what you did, but I'm mad and I want to do it.
What
The
am I
druid
rolling?
is the one who took the
I
belt.
feel like nobody deserves the collar now. It's Astro's.
Okay, I'm gonna have you roll sleight of hand.
Then I will
Nathan.
take that. I will give it back to you if you would like to give me that quiver back.
Nathan,
The quiver's not
Nathan,
really worth
I
it.
need you to roll perception, and then Valari, I'm gonna need you to roll on your wild magic table because of the anger
So you
flaring
said
up.
sleight of hand first.
Sleight of hand,
I'm
perception,
perception. I'm going to use my reroll from last episode.
perfect.
I will say,
I mean, perception, you're in the middle of a fight. Wet, dry would be.
yeah, but you are in a fight with her.
Yeah.
So if she's trying to cast something underhanded, you are already looking at this.
Yeah, that would be my argument.
So passive.
So you can use passive or your reroll.
I'll say 11.
Gobshite,
Nice.
yes, I did. We had a nat 20 grapple with the Kraken a few minutes ago.
On me.
I rolled a 17 on my sleight of hand.
So she beat my 11.
All right. So she's able to grab onto the belt and start to do the unbuckle, but she surges with wild magic. What is your wild magic roll?
20,
I hope it's a
26?
fireball.
26?
26, huh?
Is it good for?
She's within 30 feet of me. If she
Destroy
uses-
the nearest
Please-
magic
Please
item.
reroll.
Oh, that's right. Next
While
time
this
I'll
is
reverse
going
it.
on, can I do a little healing on myself?
It's a 51.
Just in the midst of all this.
Yeah, you may do a little healing on
Okay.
yourself. Yep.
Cool. Thanks.
Um,
I'm just gonna be off by myself doing this.
Oh, darn. I
Garth
could've
could
used
use
that.
some.
Well, I still can.
Especially
There's
after
a
six
door.
minutes, that's about to happen.
you actually feel the ground slip out from under you as you've cast grease under yourself unintentionally.
At least I got the belt, though.
You didn't get the belt.
I
You-
cast
You're
a
holding
17.
it.
My
You
mage hand
grabbed
took it.
onto it.
No, the mage hand did.
Your mage hand did. But you slip and fall as you're trying to control the unbuckling. Garth, the belt does come unbuckled and fall off of you. The mage hand disappears and you fall prone.
What does Astro do?
And I also fall.
You do fall, yep. The mage hand under you causes you to drop. So you land on your feet, you land on your butt. Astro is sitting back and he's whimpering.
I will, since she's on her butt, I pick up the collar and I toss it towards her. I'm like, fine. I am sorry that we went back for this. This has been very handy. It has helped me very much in sticky situations. But if it is so important to you, you may have it. And enjoy the quiver as well.
I just think the good of everyone was more important than keeping this stupid collar, and we could have bought another one. If we could have kept the Kraken smaller, then maybe
The
it would have hurt
Kraken was
more
not
people.
going to stay smaller.
If it stayed on the belt,
It would have taken the belt off, most likely.
I don't think it could have done
Well-
that. It doesn't. It's not. It doesn't have. I can't even think of the words. I'm so upset.
Thumbs?
Yeah, opposable limbs. It doesn't have like opposable thumbs. It
Opposable-
can't undo a buckle.
So, as
It
a
also has suction to slide it off a tentacle, though.
as a silent observer of this whole fight, why are we not killing the Kraken?
Why would we kill it? It's not its fault. It's just a creature. Somebody
So-
used it.
Jared, from my training
Yep.
my knowledge of Krakens, would I know them to be evil creatures in general, or are they like just like a beast? Like
I think they're just
An
a
animal.
beast, aren't they?
You would know it to be mildly understandable as like an evil, but you wonder in your training because they usually attack ships if it's because they're protecting ground or home, or if they're actually seeking chaos. So you're kind of on the edge if this thing would have just sought to kill, or if it was protecting something.
okay, so I'll say I guess yesterday we did kill a froghemoth and then sent a young lad off a cliff. So
I didn't send him off a cliff. I just told you guys where the stairs were. You all saw the sign.
I think we
Yes, but the way we handled
it's
that lad
confusing.
was not exactly
Look,
ideal.
I'm not saying I haven't done some
I would
shady
agree.
shit. Like, I totally agree with that.
Guys, Ebron's gonna be a dragon in minutes.
I'm just saying we had the option and the
Going to kill us
opportunity
all.
to do something halfway decent.
This is
Can you also
Ari speaks a good point. To be fair, we do have a friend on the line at this point.
I'm just, that's what whatever. Keep your collar, I'll just buy a new one. Do whatever you want. So I, walk off with hoping Astro follows.
how
head
does
towards
the
town.
walking off work with the grease?
Oh,
Well,
no.
it only lasts
It's very awkward. She stands up and slides around for a moment and is able to hoof her way
That's like-
out of the grease and then stomp away.
So Sorry, I didn't hear. Did you say keep the collar?
I said I don't care. Do whatever you want.
She
Keep
left
the
the collar on
I
the
left it
ground.
on the ground. I said if it's that important, because I can just buy another one. It's not a big deal.
So you do still have the collar.
Nobody has the collar. It's on the ground in the grease.
Well,
I mean, he's gonna
I'll
mage.
pick it up.
Does anyone know where we might be able to find Ebron?
I think we need to go to the east side of the city where the pictures of the kings were.
That's fair.
As you recall the pictures of the kings, it was outside of the city, to the southeast of the town, essentially.
Yep.
I think that's probably our best bet at this point. Either that or trying to
Go
get
back to
down
his
the
house.
well, either that or the caverns.
Where the
where the
stone
rope
is.
was. If that was where they were going to try and do the summoning.
Mm.
I think at this point, seeing this happen, I think Draklin would have ran after Valari, and then just say, Valari, I didn't finish that thought there. I can see you're upset, and I know this didn't go how we wanted, but I do want to let you know that Krakens are not just animals. They tend to be evil beasts that eat men. So I know it didn't go how we wanted, but yeah.
I could get into a whole debate about what creatures are actually evil and not, but I'm over it now. Let's just do whatever needs to be done. Like, it's done. I can't change it. They made their decision, so...
I'll just keep walking next to her then, wherever she's going.
All right.
And staying silent.
Astro is about 7 or 8 paces behind, his tail down and his ears back, as if he's almost in trouble. He doesn't care for the fight and the anger, and so he's just kind of sadly / nervously following.
Mhm.
Fair.
The rest of the group, you're a little bit behind. You head towards Valari and Draklin to let them know what's going on, or what is your thought?
Well, I think we should at least follow as we're trying to make our decision, but what are you thinking is the best? I mean, do we try and meet them in the caverns? I see there's a good point in trying to go to where the portraits were painted.
I mean, I don't know where they're going, so I don't necessarily care to follow. Y'all do what you want. We're gonna game plan.
Thumbs up.
I think the important thing is we know the last place that we saw Ebron was down near that shack.
It's true.
We have
That's fair.
this amulet, which I think we need to kind of piece back together. And apparently there is some sort of purple stone out in the mountains, which may be very important as well.
Is the gem in the amulet fitting nicely, or does it need work?
No,
Okay.
it, like, as you placed it in, it just kind of locked in, as if it was just kind of broken free.
Oh, because they have the amulet and then there was another stone. Okay, yeah.
So, lower city to the shack then?
It's at least a place to look.
I don't have any better ideas.
What was the direction you were
Oh,
heading?
I was going to get breakfast.
You're heading to
Because
the
I'm
inn?
hungry, because I haven't ate.
All right, so
Second breakfast?
you're going back to
Breakfast.
the inn then.
Which
and-
is a way to the Undercity.
yeah, there is a way to the Undercity there. All right. As Draklin and Valari make their way into the inn, Astro is still following in suit. The barkeep upstairs. Oh, hello. There's some open tables for you. You look quite wet.
And
Rough morning.
hairless.
My hood is up.
Oh
My
yes,
hood's
of course.
usually up.
A rough morning for you.
Minor losing some hair.
You can
Yeah.
say that.
Well, a bit of breakfast and a bit of tea.
Sounds good.
All right.
And some for the dog, too.
Oh, we'll get some meat for the dog. for you, sir? Anything for you?
I'm okay, thank you.
All right. Take a seat. We'll have a plate out for you in a second. And behind one of the tables, a young girl kind of walks over and gives Esther a little pet on the head, and he wags his tail cautiously at her, and then scoots up next to Valari, and the girl just sits back on her chair and stares down at the dog. The rest of the group, are you following into the inn then?
I think that's probably our best course of action.
We gotta get to the lower city. That's the closest
that's
way.
Aye.
Dorian says Valari needs something sweet to help balance out all the bitter.
I would say to Rumio, I did take a hit.
I was about to ask, how
I haven't taken a hit in weeks.
Welcome to my world.
It hurts.
Yeah.
Huh?
Can you help?
Probably.
As he lifts up an arm and it's like broken and dangling.
Oh,
This is
well.
what happened when I fell off my mage hand.
Well, here, one moment, and I'll. Well, actually, we're about to take a short rest. I'm assuming. So, I'll go. I've used 3. No, we'll do 1. I'll do 1. Because I don't get those back on a short rest. I will give you a D6.
Cool.
Let me know. Let's see how this goes. You'll take 4.
Okay. I can also take
Do you?
dice if we're breaking.
That's what I was gonna say. Like I can supplement, hit dice as well, because that's the thing. Like I have so many of those.
Right. Yeah. But you
So-
can supplement a hit dice.
No, like if you roll hit dice, I can do healing spell. I can't help your hit dice, but I can heal.
Combo. You use
In
the hit dice.
addition to in a combo with your hit dice.
Gotcha. Okay. So you gave me 4. I'll take another hit dice worth, which is a 6, baby.
Nice.
Okay.
I will actually take a hit dice myself, just in case.
I'm
'Cause
not
we're resting.
full, but that'll do. Well, I mean,
Lucky D8s.
There you go.
so
Yeah.
beautiful.
It's great.
I don't have any spells to recover on the short rest. I jumped in the water.
So I take it you're healing up before you walk into the inn.
Yeah.
Or kind of, if we go into break, we'll take a short rest in the inn. I'm assuming that's what that was. Because if you were rolling hit dice, Nathan,
yeah.
and I would, I'm assuming we're gonna go to the
Yeah, I
inn and take
assumed
a.
we got to a
rest.
point of
Alright.
rest.
All right, so
Then-
you've stepped
and
into
then-
the inn. You've been offered breakfast as well, or any food or drink. The inn is fairly quiet right now, as it's mid-ish morning, so it's about 9:30, 10 o'clock. Do you accept breakfast and a table?
Yes. Why not?
All right. Do you sit at the same table as Valari or nearby?
We'll go to their table.
Yeah, that's fine. Since I had breakfast, I'll just take some of the brew that whatever Ari had. That seemed to. Wow.
So some of the brew. Yes. It will lighten your spirits, sir.
That's
Are you-
exactly the sort of thing I like to do. Is
Perfect. Brew all around.
No, thank you.
No.
I probably shouldn't.
I might as well try it.
Okay. Well,
What's to go wrong?
I'll bring a few brews out, and some meat for the doggo, and all right, I'll be right back. And he hustles back to the kitchen, and as the sun's shining in, the dust catches your eyes just a bit in the doorway, as you'd seen the front door kind of swing a bit. It's a beautiful morning. The inn is mildly lit. And you hear a small squeak of a chair moved at the back of the table. As you kind of all look back at the 6 people at the table, you tilt your head briefly and realize there's one more in this group than before. And at the back where you heard the squeak of a chair, a man sits in very light, pale leather armor, almost white, as if it's been dyed and bleached and sun-faded. He has a leather mask up over his face, a hood pulled tight. You barely get to see his eyes. He's wearing a big, heavy duster on top. You do see on his bandolier-esque belt a couple metal rings attached, very similar to the one Garth had picked up and handed to Valari. He already has a half-drank stein of beer with him, and you wonder how that happened because you hadn't seen him at all as you'd entered. He leans forward. So, I'm here to discuss a few things with you.
Like how you murdered a guy?
Well, I was only doing my duties. Well, at least the duties that I'm supposed to do, according to rituals. Well, as you might not all know me, people call me the Shadow Blade.
He does exist.
Yes, I do exist, and I'm not just to haunt the nightmares of children. Well, that is a fun perk of the job, but I do have protection for this city. And he pulls back part of his large duster, and he's got a purple sword emblazoned across the almost white leather armor he's wearing. And he looks across the group, and he leans in a bit further, and a bit more whispered, he goes, and I see you've been in contact with my brother.
Who's your brother?
Ebert?
The same, Ebrin.
I have so many questions.
How do we save him?
Who's older?
Technically me by 4 seconds.
Twins!
Correct you are, sir.
That means you'll like the look of him.
You will not like what is under this mask. It's seen many battles. But
She is a
She's a
fighter.
You don't know.
You were saying.
I'm not here for dates or
Of course.
courtship, but we are here to protect the land. You see, what's brewing in Ebrin is something that happens to the bloodline when a true king or queen hasn't taken the throne. He will take the throne, and he will do it today.
Ebrin will take the throne? Is Ebrin the chick? I'm confused.
But you're older.
But in our birth, the bloodline had a split. And that split caused the guardian of myself to be servant to the future Dragon King. And because no one has taken the throne, that Dragon King will be my brother. And the spirit of the Dragon King wells up inside him now, as you most likely have encountered.
Yes, his eyes blown out.
We gotta find the living son of the actual king that died and get him on the throne to, like, subdue this Dragon King that's in Ebrin.
He takes a big chug of his beer and finishes it up, sets it down. Doobly-doo, it was nice to see you tonight. He speaks over the shoulders as someone walks out of the inn. And you can't catch who that person was walking out of the inn, but they wave.
Oh my gosh.
And he looks back and forth. Well, this land doesn't operate strictly on bloodlines. The bloodline comes to play when, well, another true ruler doesn't take the throne. Which means, if someone else decides to visit the kingship stone before Ibrin does, and is accepted by its presence, they might be the new king or queen. But Ibrin is drawn to it as we speak.
I have a question. I saw the Book of Kings.
Mhm.
Human kings looked miserable. Everybody else seemed they were fine. Why is that?
The bloodline. Ibrin himself will not be happy with his post, but he will do it out of the bloodline. The oath, the curse.
So you guys aren't even supposed to be king.
We fill in the spot of kingship as our bloodline has when no other king
When
does.
no one steps up, that makes sense.
Right you are, sir.
But there were lots of people who wanted to be king. We were at a party at the Calamento mansion, and so many people wanted...
They just couldn't wait to be king.
Power.
I feel like we have a King Arthur situation here.
Power is what they go for. As
Yes.
king of the
Fair.
land, you are inheriting power. You
Fair.
will hear the voice and feel the power of the Dragon King if you are the next king. Some seek it out as a way to dominate enemies. Some seek it out as a way to gain fortune. And some seek it out because they lucked into the cave, such as the goblin ruler that we had for only a mere matter of months a few decades back.
Saw his picture, yep.
So,
Was the lower level king murdered? Because a drow shouldn't die that young.
well, his end was,
Did you do it?
planned.
By who? Why'd you do it?
See, he was attempting to seek power in the throne as well, but his goal was to take out a town a handful of days' travel from here. A town named, Greenmar.
Man, they've had it rough. Yeah, we know that town.
There was an elf there that ruled, and it was his mortal enemy.
Well, yeah, that elf was awful.
Keth?
I don't know who the elf was, but their leader was one of such evil who was attempting to take the throne himself. Just was a few years study behind.
Well, you don't really have to worry about him anymore.
No?
Oh no, Ket's gone.
Keth is no longer in the picture.
We dispatched him.
Well, he pulls out a small notebook and crosses a line off. That solves one of my jobs. But let us enjoy breakfast. We will attempt to figure out where my brother is at.
That
Well,
seems pertinent.
We'll hear about it soon enough. I'm
Would
sure.
an amulet help?
The amulet is of great use. It will help the protector with the new Dragon King. Were you able to secure the special amulet?
Maybe, maybe not.
Alright, so you have the amulet, I'll assume.
That's definitely
You know
what
of
you
its
say when you
whereabouts.
have the amulet.
Do you know where to find the stone?
From
That-
what I,
that-
from what
the
I
testing
understand,
stone.
yes, the kingship stone, the one that
Aye, aye.
imbues the power. It's outside of town, probably a couple hours walk. There's a cave in some of the mountains that overlooks the city.
Also, what do you know about the summoning of a dragon?
Summoning of a dragon.
Right? That's what they were trying to summon, right?
Summon the Dragon King.
Yeah.
There was a group summoning a dragon king.
A group of cultists below
Oh yeah,
the
they were
city.
supposed to do
But
that
they were-
today.
Yeah. Just saying, what does he know about it? That's all.
Well,
Frog mania, froglific, frog.
Froghemoth.
Froghemoth.
well,
Aye.
I won't be able to enjoy this breakfast with you. It is on me. And whatever tab you have here.
No.
And he stands up and
what?
kicks the chair out, drops a handful of gold on the table, and says something to the bartender on his way out, and blasts through the doors.
But
Well, that's frustrating.
Apparently, he didn't know about that one. We were one up on him for a second.
Yeah, but now he's gone, and now we can't know about it.
You do see that he goes rushing off towards the hole that had been caused the day prior. And as he's rushing off, you see him lift up his coat and strap a few things down as if he almost has a wingsuit he's built. And you see him dive into the big opening in the ground.
Okay, if I get one of those, I don't need the collar anymore.
It's only for falling gracefully.
Yeah.
But
With style.
he is gone. The bartender comes over, scoops up the few gold off of the table, sets breakfast down.
Okay.
It seems
It's-
that your bills have been paid. Your rooms are taken care of for the last couple days, and this breakfast and all of your breakfasts have been on that gentleman.
Are we okay? When he took off, is the whole inside the inn that he can run? So he's gonna run out.
He runs out, and you see through the window that he rushes off towards the hole.
Okay.
Where the mansion was.
Okay.
How did he know to go to the hole?
he seems to know a lot.
Well, it's probably gonna have to be a quick second breakfast.
Second, we didn't eat the first time. They packed it in bowls that we left at Perkins.
Oh, I ate
Oh,
one.
I was eating on the way.
That's why.
Yeah. Yeah.
At this point, Asher is sitting there wagging his tail, waiting for the meat to be set down, and the barkeep sets the meat down, and he dives right in, looks across the table, grabs a jug of water, fills a few glasses on the table. Well, enjoy your breakfast. And this is where we're going to leave it. Deathstorian, thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Doobly Doo, Penguin Witch Doctor, everyone
Yeah.
else who has joined us for the evening. Podus,
Great.
Shadow Reels. We have enjoyed this session with you. And we survived mostly without technical trouble, other than Alex retreating
Other than
up
that
the
one
mountain.
blip.
Tiny
Alex
Alex.
He
up the
retreated to the
mountain.
top of the mountain.
But we will be back in 2 weeks. You just lucked out that we were back to back on our funky schedules. So we'll be back in 2 weeks. We're on the first and third Saturdays of the month right now. We will be streaming at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time or Daylight Time, whatever it is here, because we're silly in the States and we like to change our hours.
Maybe we'll be back
Pacific
next
time
week
now?
because it's not like we're doing anything else.
If we're still in major lockdown and it works out, maybe we'll try and squeeze another show in. We'll talk to the crew. You watch our social. If it does work out, we will definitely give heavy alerts on social multiple days in advance. So
At
soon
least
enough.
two.
At least 2. But do check out our social. Do hop into our Discord, because that's also where we'll be chatting about these things and all of the fun plans and potential for, Peter Pan inspired or Fairy Princess inspired next season. So I just got to kill these characters off quick and we can get to that. Otherwise, do check out our sponsors. Again, we partner with people who are doing great things and are growing in their businesses as well as we are. So we want to support them too, especially in this time. And if you are an artist or a craftsperson and you want us to share some of what you have, reach out. We do have a self-promo spot in our Discord, and we would love to share and show off your works as well. And with that, anyone on stream have any other closing remarks, announcements, etc.?
Y'all
No?
stumble in again now, you hear?
All right.
Yeah. Stay safe, everyone.
Wash
Stay
your hands.
safe. Stay sanitized.
Stay inside.
And have a good night.
Bye.